Who is Benzino? Like first and foremost.
From Boston, Mass. I grew up in the 70s. My dad was involved with the street life, like the mob, Boston Italian mob. A lot of my early life from 13 on was visiting him in jail and being in the streets, selling drugs.
If you had one regret, what would that one regret be? Would your one
I
regret be
don't,
with
be honest,
Eminem?
no, hell no. No. When it comes to that, my only regret is I didn't go harder. How about that? Because exactly what I said was gonna happen, happened.
I gotta call you out, man. So you can have an OnlyFans, but Corey can't sing about pussy. Come on, dog.
I'm saying,
Come on, Pop.
I'm saying,
Come on, Pop.
I'm saying,
All right. Let's get it. All right, everybody, welcome. We got a hot episode today. I saw a tweet that went crazy viral last week. And this tweet got my attention and a lot of people's attention. And it was posted over all the blogs. It was you,
man.
Benzino.
Man.
What's up? Welcome to the
What's
Get
up,
Your
T?
Ass Up show, bro.
Good, man. Good. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing amazing. I appreciate you coming and sitting down.
Man, appreciate you having me, especially in Miami, man. Like when you said come to Miami, I was like, let's go. Let's go. Get me out this cold, man. Word.
Man, well, first and foremost, man, you went extremely viral. You always seem to be going viral for something. You've mastered that for about 20 plus years at least.
Wow. I don't even know if I be trying, but I guess, yeah, if you want to say that, then yeah.
You got a hell of a run.
Hell of a run. I think I got some more on me too.
So let's talk about this tweet though, man. You put up a tweet and you were expressing basically you feel like, a lot of guys in the hip hop industry, guys that you help facilitate and put in better positions in their career, kind of watch you fall down and not support you.
Yeah, man, it's crazy because I kind of been feeling like that for a while, for a long time. But I've never really wanted to say anything because of, you don't when you express your emotions, sometimes people take it, and those type of emotions they could be taken as, oh man, he's doing bad, or he wants something. I just, my thing is like, the Source was such a powerful platform, and people really wanted to be on it. And even though I just mentioned DJ Khaled and Kevin Hart and Flex, which Flex had kind of answered, me and him had kind of kicked it. I hadn't talked to Khaled or Kevin since I had put the message out, but it's not like I was trying to like disrespect them or single them out. It's just that, there's a bunch of them that back then there was no platform for them really to go to that to try to build their career up. And, I was at a pretty high level back then. And it was nothing for me to want to do that, to give them a bag, to give them an opportunity. There's a lot of people that I could have gave hosting to or to let DJ. And I just feel like, even as far as the artists and everything, they deserved it, of course. But, it's like, it was pretty documented when I took my falls. So people knew I probably wasn't doing as good, as they seen me back then, of course. But, I just feel like sometimes when you go to these events and you see them, they, what I mean? The love is just fake. And, I probably shouldn't put
What you mean by that? What do you expect? Because I'm gonna just ask from the other side. What would you expect from a DJ Khaled or any of the people that
I've
you
known
put
Khaled
on?
for a while because, I also lived in Miami. So I was pretty much in the hoods of Broward and Dade. And I met a lot of, a lot of good people, in Liberty City. And I mean, all over Miami. And it's like, I just think like, especially Khaled would understand all the stuff that that we had 3 Source Awards in Miami. He was involved with everything we did down here. So, he's doing major things on Amazon and everything. And I'm of course my brand of Benzino is still who I am, hip hop and regardless of anything. So if you're doing anything in that lane, then You know, I mean, listen, of course we all want a bag, of course, but I'd rather the work. And I think I have the resume to do anything that if these guys want to break bread or, give me a platform so I could, you know what I'm saying, get my shit back together. You know what I'm saying, T? Word.
So so you had a hell of a run. We've been talking for the last couple
Yeah.
hours, man,
Hell of a run. Hell of a run.
and to hear some of the numbers and things that you the money, goddamn, you
A lot of money.
you ran through a lot of money.
I did.
Let's talk about. Let's just back up a little bit. Who is Benzino? Like first and foremost.
Um, you know, I'm a guy from Boston, born from Cape Verdean and Puerto Rican descent. And for those who don't know who Cape Verdean people are, the Cape Verde Islands are off the coast of West Africa, and they were invaded by Europeans, of course, but the Portuguese side of the Europeans. Like in Africa, the French really, a lot of Africans speak French. Well, that's because a lot of France came and invaded Africa, and then next thing you know, they start mixing the cultures. So Portuguese mixed cultures in Cape Verde Islands, and my great grandmother and grandmother, and I got some from Brazil also. So I have that, and my father, my one grandmother's Puerto Rican. So from Boston, Mass, grew up in the time of like I was born in the '60s. I'm 57 years old, so I grew up um, really in the '70s of me starting to be a teenager and starting to like see life and understand life. Once you get to that 10 to 13 years old, you start kind of looking at life in a different lens than you was in the previous years. So um, in those times, it was just a lot of racism in Boston. And as far as my dad was a street guy. My mom just worked jobs, worked at the Prudential Building. She was old school. Not a street woman at all, just a hard working woman, which most Cape Verdean women and men were when they came over. Just hard working. Of course, immigrants. So I had to do things like work in the cranberry bogs of Cape Cod and just, all like the jobs that, you get when you first come over, like really didn't have too much. And my dad was involved with the street life, like the mob in Boston, the Italian mob, which had a huge influence in the West Coast. The Italian mob influence was really all on the East Coast and in Chicago, everywhere, but in the heavily influenced Providence, Rhode Island. So my dad, when I grew up, he would take me and I would meet these guys. You know what I'm saying? And these are older guys, and when I grew up, Boston being racist, these guys are looking still as white men, but they were different white men from the racist white men that I'm seeing in Boston. When my father introduced me to these guys just seemed like they were honorable men and just they accepted my father. So right then and there, I'm like, man, this is kind of, and I didn't look at them as like back then as the mob back then, but I just looked at them as strong, like strong men figures. And I grew up under that. My father went and did time, and then I just hit the streets from there. So, you know, um, a lot of my early life from 13 on was visiting him in jail and then being in the streets selling drugs. Um, Boston kind of like got into the gang culture pretty quick, like was really influenced probably from the West Coast, probably even more than New York was at that time. So, I grew up in the streets, man, selling drugs and gang banging. But hip hop, my grandfather lived in the South Bronx. And I would spend half my childhood up there and I really got involved with hip hop. So my life really became, doing stuff for my father and his guys. And I remember when the Shower Posse was in Boston. I started doing some stuff with them. I started doing some stuff with YBI in Detroit, hustling with them. Like, anybody could in Boston would know back then that I was, from 13 on, I just was in the streets heavy. And learn how to hustle, and you know, learn loyalty, learned a lot of great things from my father. You know what I'm saying? As far as how to be a man and different things, and not just streetwise, but how he wasn't like a woman beater or treated women wrong. He treated women well, and I kind of seen that. He treated my mother good. Like he never put my hands on my mother or nothing like that. I didn't grow up in like an abusive home, but he wasn't there a lot because he was locked up. So I was a street kid that ended up falling in love with hip hop, and yeah, that was my life. See,
Hey, I I know this has been one of those things that we talked about earlier. Like coming up in that area, you talked about obviously like the gang and the
hmm
drug violence and
hmm
everything. You mentioned that like even going into some of your troubles that you had where you had federal investigations and
yeah,
everything else.
man.
Like how did all that kind of come together for you?
You know, so my father, when he got when he got locked up, he got locked up under the old federal laws. And again, growing up, my pops just had money. He had all the dope whips. And so, I'm looking at this, but I didn't question anything. When you're young, you don't question. I didn't learn. But then he pulled me. I think I probably was right before he went to jail. He pulled me aside and kind of gave me the rundown. I mean, he would take me to the houses that the police had kicked in. You know what I'm saying? He got out on bail, then he would take me to those, and he started kind of just introducing me to certain things of the street life that then I would understand what it was about. When he would take me down to the social clubs, and what I'm saying, I'd have to sometimes when he'd be locked up, I'd have to go to the wakes and sign the book for his guys, and so it, it, when I and it's funny because when he got locked up, his lawyers, when I started doing stuff and running with my crew, I would still use a lot of his lawyers. And then it would end up that his lawyers would be damn near the whole city's lawyers. Like I would turn all my guys on to his lawyers, like Marty Lepple. Like it's funny, Lepple was a murder trial lawyer, but he could do everything. But now that I sit here and thinking, Lepple's like 80 something, he's still living. My dad and Lepple been together almost 50 something years. And doing cases for my father, and then me, and then all my friends. And I'm thinking, like, damn, like Leffel done a lot of my guys' cases, man. A lot of them he got off. He got me off a couple of big ones. My father too, but my dad. What I'm saying? Like my dad was my hero because after a while, I'm looking at him, all the suits and the cars and the jewelry and then even like, I guess when him and my mother broke up, it wasn't like I was mad at him, what I'm saying? Because my mother really never I never really seen another man in her life until later on. And when she started getting older, and even him, I was like, forget him. What I'm saying? What I'm saying? It was just because that was my best friend. I was her only son, so it was just me and her. So my dad, and then when they broke up, it was like, I didn't have anything against my father. Like when I see kids have things against their father because when they hold things against him, but I didn't, man, because he just was like that guy. And real charmer with the women, real, everybody respected him. He did his time. He wasn't a rat. He taught me that at a young age. I was 11 years old. And we was talking about that, and he told me about the whole snitching thing and why I shouldn't snitch and why, he broke it down to me. We had a long conversation. I'll never forget that. Called me in the bedroom. He was in the bed, and he said, "Come in, sit down, Raymond." Call me Raymond. Raymond. And I think I was named after a mob boss. They're like the Patriarchs, yeah, Raymond Patriarch up in Providence. So um, they loved my dad. Now my dad wasn't Italian, so he necessarily couldn't be a made man, but Lord knows he was as close as there was other than having the blood. So um, I just learned so much from him that when I started getting into my own legal problems, that man, I was on top of them. Like knock on wood, I did little county time here and there, but all my major cases I beat. And I know a lot of that has to do with me young studying him and watching him. Although he went and did two made like one time 15 years, another time 5 years, But if it was under the new federal laws, he would have never been out. This is the old laws, under the old guidelines. And my mother would take me up to go see him, and he would say things, and I would have to fold the papers up, man, stick them up my ass, and then go bring him to the next jail to go see the other guys. Like I was doing things, and then he'd have a mission for me to probably go shoot up somebody's crib. Like, I've never said that on a podcast, but you know what I'm saying? And I remember doing that, and it was nothing that I wouldn't do for him. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like everything was about me going out doing crime and hustling and everything, although it was a lot. I remember when the marshals was trying to get him, I would have to come in a little hoopty, and I was young. And he'd jump in the back of the car and lay it all the way down. I'd have to run him all around the city. Like, I did so much from a young age from him, but I just respected him so much, and he's still living. My mom's gone. He's still here. But he's just, so when I see these movies, Casino, The Godfather, and I just, that's my father. So when I did get indicted for I was being investigated, like they was gonna hit me with the RICO. They thought that the feds was investigating me for like 2.5 years, and they probably interviewed over 120, 30 people. The source staff, which I'm sure some of them probably didn't even like me. They probably said some shit, but they didn't know, it wasn't nothing to say. Like, guys from Boston, they was pulling guys out of jail and asking. So long story short, it was murder. It was a couple of murders. It was extortion, money laundering. It was a bunch of charges. But at the time, they didn't understand how much money we was making from the source. And that's, I think, where they kind of screwed up, was like, we was making so much money from the source, they thought I had been laundering it through a drug game. Although I was making money in my time in the streets, I wasn't making this type of money when the source was at its peak, which was bringing in almost $1 million a month, So from advertising. So, and then I had
from advertising.
From advertising, then I was getting signed to record labels, so I'm getting $700,000 record labels while I'm getting all this money from the source. It was just money. And then I did this hip hop hits deal with Leo Cohen, gave me a $4.5 million check. Leo Cohen's the president of YouTube. And I've done deals with all these guys, the Steve Stouts. I remember I brought him when Steve started. You know what I'm saying?
I work out with Steve. I see him all the time.
Me and Steve, I need a number on Steve.
I don't know his number, but I damn sure.
You need to tell him, man. I need to get in touch with Steve, because see, Steve, I'm be honest, Steve's a genius. Steve Stout's a genius. And I remember, okay, so Dave Mays is also a genius. I'm gonna give Dave his props, because I like to keep it real. I'm disappointed in the shit that he's doing now. We'll talk about that. But at the beginning of the source, Dave and Steve were like those guys that was like before their time, where they seen how advertising in hip hop and where it was going. They seen it. They seen it to the point where they took out $12 million alone to start Source.com. It crashed, and that was eventually the reason why we lost the Source. But they was ahead of their time with it. The only reason it crashed was because nobody else knew about it. Now, all that's going on now is what Steve and Dave thought of years ago. And I was there. And Dave asked me, am I co-signing? We was partners. And I said, I don't know nothing about the co-sign, so I wasn't with it. I didn't know about computers. Barely still know about them now. I know how to go on social media, but as far as that was Dave. Dave was administrative, Harvard, organized. I was out there in them streets. And I was hip hop. My knowledge of hip hop is vast. I came from the beginning of block parties and crates and rapping on the mic and DJs cutting, and I was cutting, and yeah, man, like, so, I've done so much and went through so much, you know what I'm saying? It's like, even when, like I said, go back to the federal indictment, once the criminal dropped, then they hit me with tax evasion. And, there was a guy at the source that wore a wire for me. That was Dave's man. You know what I'm saying? White guy. He was an accountant working on the business side. He wore a wire on me for like 6 months up at the Source magazine. And so when they came to me, they said, okay, yeah, the criminal broke down. We're gonna, you take 3 years, or she's gonna get 5. And nobody beats us, nobody. So you might as well take 3. And around that time, Corey had just been, born or whatever, and I want to spend more time with her. So, and Ray Ray. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna take my last little bit of money I had, you know, and invested it in some lawyer. And we had owed the bank $30 million because it ballooned up from 12 million to 30. Got indicted and everything. We ended up losing the source and everything. Kind of came to an end for that chapter. And then I ended up beating the tax case with an all-white jury in Boston. They found me not guilty. And the reason why I think I didn't know about taxes, W-9s, W-99s. I didn't know about none of that shit. Dave handled that. Dave paid my bills. Dave, whatever. I didn't even see bank statements. I didn't know. I was a partner, but 50% partner, me and Dave, 50-50. And it was cool because I started learning things about the Source. And I started bringing things to the table, like the Source Awards and then Source Hip Hop Hits. And we did major clothing deals. And like I started, then Source Pioneer covers and special covers, Source Hip Hop Behind Bars. Like, my thing with the Source was I was hip hop. Like I was the streets and I was hip hop, and Dave was the administrative and organization. So I came up with the ideas, I called the shots, and Dave implemented them. That was everybody who knew us knew that was our relationship. And we was brothers for all them years. And then,
How much money did you guys spend? Did you spend on like attorneys in those cases?
Millions. Because we had started getting sued, different lawsuits, millions, a lot of money. Because it was always something. And and I take the responsibility of being ignorant when it comes to money, like we was talking before. When it comes to hustling is you go get your money, you count it, boom, you put it up, you know how much money. But as far as credit, I never had credit. I never want to even have to think about business, banking, money, this, that. I don't even think I had a savings account. Everything was checking. I had American Express Platinum, and I was just swiping. I was just going all over the country, spending ridiculous amounts of money. And I took half the hood of Boston, and I helped a lot of people. I'm saying, took care of a lot of people, and I didn't do it to talk about it now, or I didn't do it to get anything back. I did it because it was in my heart too. Like I always came from, I'm a project baby. I always came from the struggle, and I always cared about people next to me, no matter what. Because I never could walk in a place and buy a bunch of shit, and I'm walking in there with 3 guys who I know ain't got nothing. Everybody got to get something. Everybody. And that's just how it is. It's nothing to brag about. I mean, that's how it should be. I mean, chances are when we grow up in the hood, the one person that might have a bunch of money, chances are the rest of the people around him, from his family to his friends, got nothing. So what are you just going to just get a bunch of new friends who got money? And that's my point about what I was making. Like these guys, they act like they don't come from the struggle. And I know that they take care of their own people and they take care of, but it's like when you look at a lot of people, celebrities, that they only deal with celebrities. They only deal with whoever's up top. They only deal with that. They think it's taboo if you fell. You know what I'm saying? I'm still Zeno. Because, if I don't got no bread, that don't make me not Zeno. That don't make what's inside of me and what made me not me. I'm just down right now. I'm going to get it again. And it don't, unless I want to crash out. Like you said, you know what I'm saying? Well, I enjoy my freedom now. Mm-hmm. I don't got too many bids in me anymore. If I do one more bid, I'm dying in there. So I got to be more careful now with my age and how I move. And I enjoy being out here. I enjoy not being locked up. So, I don't want no pity party or anything. Shit, we had a hell of a run from the streets to the Source to TV. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I know how to get checks. I know how to move around. But all the people that I've taken care of, I don't even get phone calls. What's up? How you doing? if they see one of these viral moments and they see me, although that shit don't mean nothing to me, but if they see it, you think they don't call, what's up? You up? Nothing. It
Why is that? Do you think that your issues with Eminem got anything to do with
yeah,
this?
man, that's
It-
great point.
Let me ask you this: I always ask my
great
guests if you had one regret, what would that one regret be? Would your one regret be
I'm be
fucking with
honest.
Eminem?
No, hell no. No. Nah, because T, look, I mean this, like we gonna be dead a lot longer than us when we was in wherever we was on this earth. And it's about the name you leave, it's about the legacy you leave. Like when we were at Eminem, it wasn't to go at Eminem personally. It wasn't to go at white people. It was who I was and what I stood for and what I believed and the position I was in. If I had said that and I wasn't had nothing to do with the source, would anybody have even cared? If I was just a nigga from Boston just rapping, you know what I'm saying, working at FedEx, and I said these things about Eminem, would anybody even give a fuck? They obviously cared because who I was.
But you got to know that too, though. When you say it, and you coming from a position of everybody knows you fucking
But
run the source.
now that be the difference. It's like when we got into, yeah, I ran a source, but I also was an artist. You know what I'm saying? I also was a rap artist. I came up in a time where battling people and dissing people on the mic and everything, that's all a part of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like, so the Eminem thing started as me saying a couple of words on a mixtape that was buried like out of 20 songs, number 19. Somehow he heard it and really got crazy. Like, yo, see, once that happened, the Source magazine, because I was with the Source, got brought into it, but only because of when we started and I started, he went on Hot 97 and said a whole bunch of shit. That was a major platform back then. Talked a lot of, yeah, I didn't appreciate that because I'm still a street nigga. And I know he's not. See, like if I know how I grew up and know that he would never disrespect me in person, but doing this, so now it's like, okay, damn, it's supposed to be rap, but now he's on a platform and he got other people up there talking shit about me. And now I'm like, yo, this never happened before. Like I really never I went through the short shit with the Source staff, but now it's like, oh, like damn, like, you know what I'm saying? So I wasn't used to that. You know what I'm saying? And that's when I kind of flexed the Source power in there. But what man is not gonna flex the power he got in any situation? You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna do what anybody else is gonna do. I really don't live with regrets because, you know, I'm from Four Corners. Most of my niggas are wiped out. So it's like, this is all bonus and it's love and it's God given and it's a blessing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I believe that hip hop was given to us to help out the melanated people. And now all because a white man comes in and he's supposed to get carte blanche and special treatment and everybody else, you know what I'm saying? Because you got to understand, this is the biggest thing, and I say this, and people heard me say it before, and it's true. 500 years from now, people are going to be looking at us, right? We're going to be gone. They're going to be looking at history. I don't know if they're going to be doing the hologram, but they'll look at this time in history. Now, when we look at Egypt, we always go to King Tut. There was many kings. We go to King Tut. Seemed like King Tut was like the most flamboyant back then. Out of all the kings, he seemed like what we are now, like the gold and everything. But they're gonna look back at this time from say 70 to say 2024, and they're gonna be like, damn, these young niggas was doing it back then. Man, this hip hop shit was doing this. And hip hop is and then they're gonna see, well, who was the most streamed and the most sold, and then his face is gonna pop up. But that.
Why does that bother you though?
Because it's our culture. It's ours. Like it's black people's culture. It's us. Why should somebody else get the credit to be the face of it? And that's what I always, and remember, I'm from Boston, where when you go to school in the 70s, when it's color, not black and white, where they spraying people with the black and white. Yeah, that was back then. But in Boston, it was still going on and nobody knew about it. Black kids going to white schools. As soon as you pull into that white neighborhood, thousands of white people throwing rocks, little kids thinking you going through hell just to go to school. We went through that shit. So I seen what racism was. I seen what that was. I mean, God gave hip hop to really bridge the cultures, anyways. But once they start seeing white kids come to the culture and deal with us, they said, "Well, listen, we can't stop them, but at least let's give them a face that they could deal with." And I don't like that. I didn't appreciate that, and I said something about it. And you know what I'm saying?
So it is your main issue just with him being white or him as a
Oh, it
lyricist or
has
what?
nothing. It has nothing to do with being white. It's the powers that be that give us the short end of the fucking stick. That take whatever we have to offer to theirs, disrespect us for it, march on us for it, don't want us to do it, then take it and make millions and billions off it from our blood. These kids out here, man, you don't think they could help stop this? You think all this, all the bloodshed and everything, you know how much money these record labels are making from these kids? Blood? Then want to give us Eminem and he's the greatest rapper and he's the most. And no, it's not fair, man.
I think he was the most streamed artist on YouTube in 2022.
Listen, you know,
Hip hop artist.
my thing is, the only regret when it comes to that, the only regret is I didn't go harder. How about that? Because exactly what I said was going to happen happened. Everything that I said was going to happen. Like I'm not trying. Look, first of all, we're two different rappers. Okay, lyrically, but the masturbation elevation. I don't rap like that. I'm not into rap like that. I didn't come up growing up listening to rap like that. I listened to rap that was going on, stuff that I could relate with that's going on in my hood. You didn't have to be super lyrical. I like lyrical people too, Nas, Jay, like they can put words together good. But I wasn't into that rap anyways. No disrespect.
Nah,
I just wasn't into it. You know what I'm
Eminem
saying?
lyrically
So
crazy.
so 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 my thing is when he was disrespecting me, he was disrespecting my street cred. And my street cred was A1. Still is. I got it in. I got it in. I gave it to people and I took it. So, I took it offensive, to this day, that people want to try to make a mockery of somebody in the street selling crack. Like, it's not like I want to sell crack. What else? What I was going to do? What else was anybody else was going to do to have some type of decent life and to sell drugs? I don't need him to make mockery of that because he don't understand that lifestyle. And white people have to realize that we live two different lifestyles. Yes, you can be a part of hip hop, but respect our lifestyle and how we are, and don't get mad when we're to the point where we don't understand. Because I don't. Listen, I love the things about white culture. I love it. When you look at Eminem and his fans, they're the most craziest, disrespectful fans that we have in the culture. We're not. Our fans ain't about that. They go extra hard because they feel like they've been left out of hip hop and they have something to prove. When it's like, fine, you got your Eminem, cool, but we over here. That's just all it is, man. And for years, I took it then. I took my licks then. The industry turned their back on me because of the Eminem thing. Because Jimmy Iovine and Eminem, shit, they had it all. So everybody wouldn't dare want to say, even if they thought that I was saying the right shit, they wouldn't say it because of what would happen to their musical career or what would happen. Like, look, I'm from the streets, so having millions, don't having millions, it don't mean nothing. Cause all my love is in the projects anyways, and in the hood, and them people ain't got too much. So you know what I'm saying? I don't lose no love whether I got money or not, cause I'm from the mud like everybody else.
So once again, you would have did it 10 times, 20 times harder versus like, nah, I'm not gonna
I
fuck
would have
with
did it harder because what happened happened. What I said happened happened. I was trying to prevent it from happening. I was trying to show the world that you stop letting the machine take us, take our swag, the way we dress, the way we rap, the way we think, and just take it for them, and then don't respect us, don't help. None of these labels. I don't see no Warner Brothers, um, or UMG Group community centers. They make zillions of dollars from us. They ain't doing shit for our communities. Like, listen, man, like, you know what I'm saying? So, look, so I always wanted to be a rapper and I always wanted to make it. And I never forget Sylvia Rone, she's a black woman, one of the only really black high execs in the game. And when I got Rock the Party, when I finally got my hit record, it was like, wow, I finally got one. I've been waiting all this time. I finally got one. And she had the song playing on NBA Jam and Eddie Murphy movies, and I'm doing all over the world touring. Then the Eminem thing happened. So I could say I regret this. When she called me in the office and she had let me go, she was like, I gave you everything you wanted. This is all you wanted. Why would you blow it and do this? And no, because at the end of the day, Jimmy Iovine was so big, he told her, let me, I mean, they dropped me because of that. And I was more disappointed because I had money. Hey, that's all right. But because I disappointed her. And I'll never forget that. And I think I shed a tear up in there. I'm emotional, so sometimes water leaks out my face in moments I can't help, man. But I've been through a lot, so I felt bad because she didn't want that to happen because her, David Geffen, Jimmy Iovine, they're all, what I'm saying? They didn't. Their thing is, look, he's gonna mess up and billions of dollars. We're gonna get billions of dollars with this white kid, and he's gonna mess it up. We can't have him mess it up. Drop his ass now, and I got dropped. Jimmy Iovine pulled all his advertising from the magazine, which was a big chunk at that time. But shit happens, man. People lose their lives believing in what they believe in, man. There's no going back in what you believe in. My intentions were pure. I wasn't doing something for self gain. I seen how the machine was treating this, and they did the same thing with Elvis. The same thing. Elvis went and grabbed all of all of those black artist moves, man, and turned it into his own, and he's the greatest now. I didn't want that to happen to hip hop, but what I'm saying? I took my licks. I'm still here. Still
That's
here.
real. I heard you bring up Coy earlier. Um, that's one of those real touchy situations, right?
Huh.
Obviously, as a parent, you know, you always want the best for your children. You always want to see, them hit their goals, their dreams, and live it out.
Yeah.
I was just watching a YouTube video as we were talking earlier, and I was listening to her. She had a very big moment, and she felt like you weren't supportive. You were making it about you. Um, and I'm just gonna keep it real with you. 2018, 2019, I had a real public issue with my dad online. Talk shit about him. Felt like he did what was best for him in the moment, but wasn't considering me when he was making a decision. And it really stuck in my side for a long time, and it motivated me to go hard as a motherfucker, like to prove my dad wrong, um, because I felt like he wasn't really understanding of like where I was at and what I was on. And when I'm listening to this video and I hear her expressing like what she wants for her career, and she's speaking out of anger, so some of the shit she say, you kind of hear, and it's like I know probably as a dad that shit probably sting like a motherfucker hearing your daughter talk that way, but um, as I'm listening to it, I think I kind of, in a sense, understand like in your highlights of your life, you don't want anybody to take away from you. You know, the most important moments of your life when you feel like you've hit a monument or a goal, you want your team, your family, your loved ones to be riding you out. And I just wonder, like, when it comes to y'all's relationship, you know, what steps as a parent have you taken to try to like take a step back from making it like about just you and how your feelings might be, and just in consideration of what she might be personally experiencing?
All right. So, you know, I grew up in horrible conditions, horrible situations. I hustled drugs, had a lot of near life death situations, and we take these for granted because hey, we just live in them. You know, when you have a kid, I didn't have any stable situation in my life. I was a gangbanger, drug dealer, hip hop rapper. I have a child. I don't know anything about fathering, and I don't want to speak for your dad, but I'm going to speak for all dads that grew up in a time of poverty and struggle, and you have a child by a woman that you're not married to, and you're trying to make things work. You're trying to make this parenting thing work because nobody knows. You know, I don't know. She don't know. It's her. You know. Well, in case of Koi's mother had two other sons, but and then I had a son by the time I had Koi. So, but I'm just saying, like, we learn as we go along, and when it comes to the men, you know, we already got a whole system set up against us. You know, to lock us up. You're dodging people on the street from being shot, fighting. Um, you're dodging the system. But one thing I seen in myself, and I've seen a lot of guys that went through that, is that they'll do anything to put food on the table for their child. Now, you know, in order to do that without a high school, education, or maybe just graduated from high school without a college education, you're out there in the street, and you're out there trying to make ends meet so the child can eat, so the child can have toys at Christmas, so the child can have. I mean, this is what you're doing, and you make sure that you do that. You make sure every Christmas they got gifts. You make sure their birthdays they're happy. You make sure when it's time to go to school they got clothes. You don't want them going with no bullshit clothes, so they don't. Nobody talks about them, make fun of them. So you make sure they got make sure they got everything. I did that. Can you spend quality time and all the time? No, because you're out there hustling. But you come home and you do as much playful things as you can as possible. Koi was born into a situation when I had the Source magazine. So Koi was actually born, well, right before we started really getting money, but still I'm in the streets hustling. And Koi's mother was a I'm a street guy. She was a street girl. Koi's mother never had to work when I was out there hustling. Koi's mother had two other sons that I had to take care of while I was out there hustling. Their fathers wasn't necessarily doing it. I did it. I was proud doing it. Fast forward, we start getting real money. I moved Koi's mother out the projects to a couple of $1 million mansion, multi-million-dollar mansion in Jersey, next to Ja Rule and Russell Simmons and Missy and Wyclef, and she ain't never seen no shit like that. Hired my sisters to be the nannies for Koi, and Koi grew up amazing. Maybe about a certain time, maybe 9, 10 years old, me and her mom broke up. Probably got indicted, but not even necessarily, But when we broke up, there's an arrangement. I give her a bunch of money. I'm still sending the mother money. Koi, Ray are coming to me at least 5 months out the year. From maybe the time she was 10 years old to maybe 16, 17. Before that, I was living with her the whole time. I left Ray's mother for Koi's mother. They both stayed in the same project type of thing. And she was my daughter. I got a beautiful, beautiful Chinese look. Well, Asian eyes. She was beautiful, man. I don't want to say that because it's all right. But listen,
they're gonna eat you up. It's all right.
It's okay. Listen, all my children's mother are black, and my baby Ashley, who I'm with now, is chocolate and Hershey's chocolate itself. I love black women.
They don't care.
That's all right. Hey, listen, I just had to throw that out there. But it was true. She just looked like a little Asian baby, and that's why I named her Koi. Koi is an Asian fish, a koi fish. You know what I'm saying? And her mother's name is Asia. So I named her Koi, and my name is Raymond. I named my son Ray Sean. So Coy, I put Coy LaRae, R-A-Y. I gave Coy the name. So there was nothing more proud. She was my, you kidding me? A rough ass nigga like me with a beautiful, like that's how you looking at it. She's the, anything she wants, she can do no wrong. I mean, nothing. So all those years, that's how it was. I was the hero. There was nothing wrong. When me and her mother broke up, that's when things probably started going left in her mind. Now she can only say this, but the 5 months out the year she's with me, every summer, every Christmas vacation, Thanksgiving, April vacation, whatever vacation, they're with me. And thank God, I had the money to fly him in. I was doing good. Those were the source years. Still was hustling. Still was getting it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm still sending her mother money, but and then me and her mother had another child too. So I'm sending money for mines. But remember, there's two more there too. So when Coy would come, I'd have other women when she come stay with me. So I'd have other women. I remember Coy would grill the shit out. Any chick I had at the house, Coy would just grill them. Like I didn't know then, but anytime be like, yeah, me and Coy's going to the mall. I didn't know that was going to be like a whole interrogation thing. Like I found out that all the girls that I ever been with, Coy would like go on this trip to the mall. I give her money, but that would be her time to kind of grill them about me. And I didn't know that until the girls would come back and tell me. You know, I'm sure there was some hurt because I'm not with their mother. And I'm sure that hurts a lot of girls. I get it. All I'm saying to everybody, and to Coy and to everybody, you just got to understand who we are. We didn't grow up with nothing, and it's not easy just stabilizing our life, never mind trying to be the perfect dad to you. So, in all fairness to your father, he did the best he could. I don't think nobody should go on the internet and disrespect their parents. Look, me and Schnapston had our differences. I mean, we had some real crazy times, but I would never, ever, on my worst angry day, come on the internet and disrespect my father, say some bad shit about him. And even if he was, or even if he did some, I still wouldn't do it. Why would I want everybody else to know about it? Why would I want to disrespect the man that brought me in the world that have everything that I have now because of him? Just because of birth. Even if he didn't do nothing for you, which I did everything because nobody else had nothing. And we're not just talking about her mom, we're talking about the brother, my man Hops that was in the wheelchair. I took care of everybody. So like when she said she was disappointed, I'm like, I heard the song like everybody else. I'm like, what the heck? What did I do? She never told me. And I was a little hurt by it. Why wouldn't I be? And then because I expressed myself, she calls me a bitch ass nigga on, like, come on, man, come on. You know, that's what I'm saying. See, I didn't know that you did that to your pops, but I just, should men, women, children, I don't think the internet, you just don't know. Your mother and father shields all the bad shit. They don't want you to know what they don't want you to know. So you're never gonna know what somebody went through in their life because they don't want you to know that. They want you to look at them in a good light. So they're not gonna share those stories of real bad times and situations, not just with your mother, but with just them. So you just gotta like understand better, especially us as a community, man. Like maybe if you was white and you had a bunch of money, maybe you could be mad at that because he didn't, or I don't know. But us as black people, how could you be mad at your father? And even if they're not there, whatever, even if they bounced out, even if it wasn't one, like, like this, this is what we had to deal with, man. And it's not easy. You think them inside wants to leave a beautiful baby, wants to do a baby wrong or their own seed wrong, whatever they went through. believe me, they had their own demons and their own guilt of not doing everything they wanted to do for you. Why make it worse by publicly disrespecting them? I don't understand it. I just, there's nothing that somebody could tell me that makes me understand it. And I seen once it happened, here comes all the ones that are really going through it, who might probably fathers never did nothing for them. And now, I'm taking the brunt for that. I'm like the poster boy for the deadbeat bad dad now. And that shit couldn't be farther from the truth. I don't think any of Coy's friends, fathers put together, probably did as much for the families and things as much as I did. We're black men. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not gonna be what they see on TV and all the movies and shit of what fathers are. It's just not gonna be. But they gotta give us a break. It's not easy. And they'll see when they have kids. It all go full circle. I just wouldn't do it to my father. I couldn't do it.
Have you guys had an opportunity to kind of like talk about it yet, or where you at with that?
No. Because every time it comes to talk about it, there's an interview that she's mad that I did, or an interview that I'm mad that she did. It's to the point now where it's like, listen, that's my daughter. I got it tattooed on me. She looks like me. I made her. I know her. I know everything about her. Can't nobody tell me nothing about her. And I'm more proud of her than anybody on this earth. And I love her, and I'll always be there for her. And that's all that counts. Everything else, we're gonna put it in God's hands.
Well, let me. You earlier were being, what I would say is a little hypocritical. You said that you didn't want to basically, I guess, promote or hear her rap about what she was rapping or singing about.
Mhm.
Been a part of the hip hop culture your whole life.
Mhm.
I mean, she's a hip hop artist, right? Isn't that kind of contradictory and hypocritical to?
I call that necessary hypocrisy. And as a father, there's no way I'm gonna watch her twerk with a thong on or talk about pussy and dick, and like I'm gonna be from the background loving it. But I love, like, No More Parties. I can vibe to that. Although the song was kind of like took a slide at me, but that's the type of music that my daughter, as her father, is gonna love. As far as the other stuff, I'm her father. And I don't care how long I've been in hip hop. I know how to separate my relationship as father daughter. I can't compromise who I am. I can't be anybody else. You know, certain songs I'm not gonna be able to vibe with. Certain shit that she does, I'm not gonna be able to vibe with because that's my daughter. And again and again, like, I didn't have a handbook. I didn't. What I'm saying. Like, saying, like, yeah, my father taught me how to be a man, but not how to be a father. And it's a lot easier for my sons because I could kind of give them what he gave me, but to a daughter's different. you know, I just knew how to be a street guy and live by a code, which the code happened to just be kind of good in life compared to the shit that's going on now. So, you know, I could just do the best I can, you know what I'm saying? And, um, you know, the regrets I have in life is not able to live with my kids, live with Ray Ray, live with Coy, live with Taj, live with Zeno. Having children and then splitting up is a very difficult thing for me. Like, that's probably the worst thing I go through mentally to this day is, you know, not able to. I got a 7-year-old son and not able to fully be there all the time with him because when he's with me, it's just so amazing. It's like that kid's love is everything, man. There's nothing like it. I pay the price, you know what I'm saying? But believe me, I'm not sitting back just having a good time all the time. Like, that shit weighs heavy on me. But you gotta compartmentalize and you gotta move on because that shit could break you. A lot of things can break you, but you gotta move on. But this thing with me and Coy, this ain't good for my heart. This ain't good on this ain't it's heavy on my heart. And in a lot of ways. You know, think about people taking advantage of her. I see guys that I do songs with interact with her and stuff. I mean, I haven't heard nothing disrespectful, thank God, because I know how I get. But I just if you'd have told me this was gonna happen, I would have never said hell no, not with my baby. But hey, what I'm saying? I've been through worse, and I just keep it pushing. She's amazing.
Yeah, she
People
lit.
love her to death.
Yeah.
Listen, I go around places and hey Benzino, and there'll be a mother and a daughter. I say, hey Benzino, you're like, that's Coyle Ray's dad. And so, what I'm saying? I'm getting both. I'm Coyle Ray's dad.
She's a better rapper than you. She made bigger hits than Benzino.
Yeah, somebody said this before. You know what I'm saying? And my thing is this, like rapping, that's my life. So I take that serious. And I got some plaques for my group, and I got some, you know what I'm saying? And this is a whole different time. So, I would love it to where is that we could just be successful together and just because I'm in no competition with my daughter. She's me. I made her. And
you're not competition, but she like it right now. She bubbling right now.
She can dance her ass off. She can rap. She's the total package, and I couldn't be more proud of her. But I'm that nigga. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm him. I'm still not gonna like, yeah. Like, see, maybe something with this new generation is like, hey, you step aside and nobody wants to step aside. Nobody's playing the back. We gonna keep going, and you keep going. You know what I'm saying? Like, how can somebody just tell you to play the back or step aside or no, everybody can shine. I don't stop nobody's shine. Don't stop my shine. I'm gonna keep shining. Like, even in that casket, you're gonna be like, damn, there's some light coming out that nigga casket. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, how the fuck did that happen? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like, I don't want to stop shining like nobody should. The problem with this generation is they think that when you get older, that's it. You're supposed to go sit on a chair in the porch and let me do this. You got to take it. You got to go get it. And she got it. That don't mean I have to go sit back. No, hell no.
She hotter than you, though.
She said she's hotter than me? Yeah, she's dope.
Her hits is crazy right now. I fuck with her. I be really listening to her music, and she be dancing her ass off.
I can't dance at all. She got her dance from her mother, so I have no rhythm. Yeah, I admit that. You know what I'm saying? But I also got another son that, Ray, he got signed to Interscope when he was 9 years old, and he's doing his thing. His name is Chavo. He's independent. That's her older brother, and he's been, got major shit going on with Pierre Bourne. Just came off of like a 40-city tour. Like, I guess he got a song called Michigan. When I'm looking at him, he's doing House of Blues, and they going crazy. All white audience. The irony of the thing is just crazy. But I got 2 kids that are major in the hip hop game. What do you think that?
So Ray and Coy.
Where do you think they got that from?
They got it from their dad, but Coy's still a bigger artist than you.
I don't know. I know I was a big artist back then. I think that
she's dinosaur age, man. They don't remember that no more, man. That's dinosaur
yeah, but it's not
age,
about
man.
them. I got people who are my age who remember me. We can't forget about them. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, I
love the hip hop conversation because it's so many generations of the culture, right? So while we speaking on this right now, I was going to do it a little bit earlier in the podcast because you start mentioning like growing up in Boston and the DJs and everybody else, man. And this is why people like my show because I don't forget, but I want to bring that back.
Okay.
I want you to give me your top 3 DJs all time.
Top 3 DJs all time. Good question, bro. Because, man, that's like 40 fucking years. How am I going to answer that? Like, that's 1,000 million DJs.
Yeah,
I love a lot of them, man.
I'm putting you on the spot.
As long as you don't put me on the top 5 artist spot, because that shit is...
you got that. You know that's coming. Got to get that.
Okay, well, before I give you the DJs, you know why that's a crazy situation? Because hip-hop is made from catalog. Like, do you know, like, niggas who have, out of all they have catalog, they'll spit one amazing-ass verse, you know what I'm saying, to where it's like, you can't put top 5. Like, music is all subjective, so it's like, I love everybody's shit. You know what I'm saying? At the time that I'm loving it.
We going back to the Source Awards. We gonna give mics the shit. Yeah, we gonna go back to the old days. We gonna give them mics. All right.
We talked about that too.
Yeah. So I need if you had to get 3 people 5 mics, DJs.
All right, I'm gonna go with DJ Red Alert, number 1, and there's no particular order. All right, number 1, only because Red Alert, a Boston cat driving New York, putting on, was it Hot 97 back then? Because it might have been 98, but I think it was Hot 97. The influence that Red Alert had on me, it just was off the chain. There's too many, man. Like I can go through Jam Master Jay, Grandmaster D, Jazzy Jeff. I can go through so many. So DJs out there, I'm gonna let y'all know. He's asking me top 3, but there ain't top. I'm just gonna say top 3 names, but all y'all niggas is dope because there's too many. So I'm gonna go with DJ, Red Alert. I'm gonna go with EPMD's DJ Scratch because he just was. The art of scratching has taken out of production. Him and EPMD used to kill the production with scratching. And then I'm gonna have to give it to the originator, man. I'm just, you know what I'm saying? I have to keep it old school. I can't help it, man. Grandmaster Flash. And then I'm gonna add one in there, my DJ, Def Jeff from Boston. I'm gonna have to give it to him too, because I don't want to give it to him because be like, well, he's your DJ. But Jeff, as a trick DJ and his knowledge in hip hop with break beats and everything, I've never met anybody like, so yeah, I'm gonna give it to them. That's my DJ list.
All right. Give me your top 3 hip hop artists all time.
It's impossible. It's impossible. It really is.
Give me the first 3 names pop in your mind.
LL Cool J. Can NWA be one thing, one person? Can that be?
You can do that.
NWA, all of them. All right. And I'm gonna say Future.
Future. Okay.
But then Nas, J, Scarface.
That's
like,
what I was like,
come
there
on,
was a
like,
whole lot of-
yeah, because you can't do it. Listen, anybody that does that, it really isn't giving hip hop justice. Like, you cannot. There's no top 3. There's no top 5. There's no niggas is dope, and niggas spit different lyrics and different albums that was dope at different times. You can't ask me that because I've been in hip hop since day one. It's been thousands of dope ass artists in verses and songs that I've came across.
All right. Top 3 most overrated.
Overrated?
Overrated.
You already know who I'm gonna say number
Man,
one.
who overrated?
Yeah. You already know. Can we hear in the back? You already know. Y'all, I ain't even gonna say it. Shit. Everybody out there, you know what I'm saying? All his fans and everybody. I'm gonna say Eminem's overrated to me. I think if Eminem was black, people wouldn't be giving him those props. Cannabis was nice as shit. How come Cannabis isn't selling billions? You know what I'm saying? There's so many rappers that rap in that Eminem genre that never got the props of an Eminem because he's white, because of the color of his skin. So I'm gonna have to say him. I'm still gonna get hate mail and hate tweets and hate, but it's just my opinion, people. You know what I'm saying? As far as anybody else, I can't think of them. Just can't think of it.
Hey,
Just can't.
Hey, what's up? Are you cool with 50 Cent?
Nah. But you heard the story where when he got stabbed up by John and when I helped him out, right? You heard that story?
No, so tell me about that.
Story? Oh, okay. So on 54th Street, there's the Hit Factory and Sony studios. Those are the 2 major studios that all labels went to because they had multiple big, huge rooms with SSL boards in them. Sony had this room called the Hip Hop Room that was downstairs that used to have this was before all the, the video games. They had this booth thing that you get in, you play video games with this big screen and shit. So 50 of them told the story when when they went in there, him and this guy went in there. I don't know who it was. I think it was Yayo. I'm not sure. I think it was. Went in the Hit Factory. There was a Hit Factory and a big scuffle broke out. And that story's been told. I wasn't there, but he ended up running down to my studio. I hadn't met him. I heard the mixtapes. I heard the shit that they did. He had some hot shit, I heard the shit. I was like, oh, street shit, dope. You know what I mean? And then I had knew Steve Stout and Tone and Pope, the track masters, and they was kind of involved with him in a way. So I remember when he came down, I'm sitting just like this, and I'm playing John Madden. I was nice at Madden back then. Super nice. It probably was Madden 3. I don't even remember, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, he came in, and Mr. Jesus had brought him in from Made Men. I was in a Made Men session. So Mr. G, you couldn't smoke cigarettes down there. So Jesus would go outside and smoke cigarettes. And he brought 50 in. Now, right there, I'm looking, when he brought him in, I'm looking, giving Jesus the look. Like, nigga, what the fuck is you doing? You ain't telling nobody. You just can't be bringing niggas. Like, and not necessarily because of 50, but that's just how we roll because it's a protocol. You know what I'm saying? We strapped up regardless. So um, he came in. He was like, "Yo, what's up, bro? And I heard a lot about you, man. And, Tone told me you was a good nigga. Boom, boom, boom." And he showed me how he had got stabbed up and shit. Showed me the cut, and it wasn't like blood was just falling all over the place. He just had like a little cut. You know what I'm saying? Looked like he needed to get some alcohol on it or something. You know what I mean? Like just can he looked like he needed some assistance. So at that time, we had the source and we had a car service. Uber wasn't out back then. But we had the car service where anytime I called the car service, they just worked for us. It was Atlantic Car Service. I remember the car service in New York. And I called him the car service and sent it to the hospital. I don't think he had any bread on him because if he did, he could have gotten a cab. But at the same time, I don't know if niggas was chasing him. I don't know what, but it was on 54th. So their shit's here and our shit's here at the end of the block. So he must have came down there. Jesus let him in. So, you know, our relationship got sour because of the Eminem situation. We didn't have any problems. But then the crazy shit was when I moved to Saddle River, I moved right next to Ja Rule. So Coy and them got real close to his daughter, and my son got real close to Taj got real close to Lil Jeff. They was going to school together. Like it was like, how the fuck did that happen? I'm beefing with him, he's beefing with 50, and then I moved next to him. I didn't know Ja when 50 and him was beefing. That was some Queen shit. I didn't even know. I didn't even meet Ja Rule back then when they had that. What I will say is this though. So Tony Yayo was was giving his version. His version is always going to be the 50 Cent version. There's there's the truth, then there's the 50 Cent version when it comes to Tony Yayo. We all need a Tony Yayo. You know what I'm saying? We all need. Because I've never seen a nigga like cheer for a nigga that much in my life. You know what I'm saying? I seen hype man, but when you off the stage, usually the hype men chill. You know what I'm saying? He's that nigga hype man for life. And he said that 50 had a 45. That was a lie. One of the first things 50 said, he pulled out a gun and said that I guess when somebody got punched, they dropped the gun. So I'm thinking that was him who dropped the gun. And it was like a little 38 snub revolver. 50 was like, shit don't even got bullets in it. He really was clowning him. He was like, it didn't even have bullets in it. Now that's to my mother. What am I gonna lie about that for? I don't get on these things to try to impress anybody or to lie about nothing because I know the type of shit I did, me and my niggas. I know there's no reason to brag it. Even when I'm in circles, I don't brag about my street shit. I don't have to. I don't brag about having millions and doing all kinds of stuff. I don't have to. It's the past. It's gone. But when I heard him tell the story on Vlad, he he lies, just all lies, because 50 told me. He says, yeah, I guess they punched him up. He dropped the shit. And me and Black Child are cool down. Black Child said it. So, you know what I'm saying? They roughed him up a little bit, but 50 showed me the gun. He was like, he dropped it. You know what I'm saying? So that never happened. So I helped 50 out. Now later on, you know what I'm saying? He go hard with the internet shit. I'm not into all that. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I just, with me, like I know how I grew up. Everything was war, guns, death, drugs. Everything was that, everything. You know what I'm saying? It was like being in Vietnam in Boston at that time. So, I lost brothers. I got niggas, death, guts, brains, all that. So my thing is like, it took me a while to understand trolling and internet diss and everything to really know that like there's two universes. There's the real world, which I'm loving and respected out there. And then there's this internet shit. And a lot of niggas use that internet shit to get under your skin and to disrespect. Before, oh man, I'd let it, I'd be going crazy. I finally matured enough and really got myself together to understand that, look, let nigga say what he want. See nigga in person, and I'm not trying to project violence and promote violence because that's not what I'm just saying. You talk to him like a man about it when you see him in person. Because I'm so happy that I grew up in a time where you could look someone in their eye and settle your differences, however it goes. Because the way the internet, the phone, the computers, I just have problems with that. You know, I just never really understood that.
I get that part.
So with him, you know what I mean? Like, you know, dudes got security. I'm sure dudes got dudes around their way and street niggas and whatever. But see, with me, I broke so much bread and fucked with so many niggas all across this world. Like, I really walk around. I've never had security. I've never worried about because real niggas fuck with me all around this country. Real street niggas that get it in. And you know, I've been shot a few times, so there's not too much I'm scared of. We all one day have to go. So I've accepted, I'm not immortal. I've accepted mortality, but you know, I don't run around and worry about dudes. Dudes that run their mouth about me on the internet, when I see them in person, we're gonna talk like men. And however it go, it go. That's all. It ain't I don't, you know what I'm saying? We all men at the end of the day, and we should be able to, however it go. I know
Hey,
how to
dog,
handle it.
I did see that picture with you with your motherfucking shirt off, looking like you was a goddamn.
I mean, I look. Come on, man. I see you get it in. Come on, man. Shit. Like I said, like playing for Seattle, like I know about Seattle. Seattle only hired dogs for linebackers. So when I seen it, I was like, oh yeah, I understand. Yeah, I get it. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is like being older, you know what I'm saying? I always was a skinny guy when I was young. So I started working out older in life. Um, I did the video where I wanted to do the D'Angelo thing. That was something I always wanted to do. I just wanted to do it. So at 55, I kind of got my body fat down. It was hard as hell. I went like on a fast. I did all because I had this thing. I want to do it. I want to do it, and I did it. And I'll never get when I look at the video. I'm so proud of myself because I'm like, damn, 55 years old. I did that shit. I'll never be able to do that again because it took a lot of discipline and work. But I like working out. I like turning it on, turning it up. You know what I'm saying? Like I take it serious. I just it ain't like I'm a super violent person and want to see people hurt because I don't. I just don't try to bully me or try to disrespect me because I'm just not the one that's gonna take that. Now I understand, you know, how to go about it without screaming, yelling on the internet and everything because they don't exist. I used to think it existed. I used to really think like they almost had me fooled. What people think is on the internet? That's not what's out here. And I think that's what people fuck up. They really fuck that up. Like they really think that whatever people say is on the internet is like what people think in real life. And it couldn't be further like from the truth. See, I like my freedom. I don't want to have a bunch of bodyguards running around. I love running around by myself. I need time by myself. Them niggas are trapped. They can't go through the hoods by themselves. They can't go through, they got to worry about it because they shit starters. They start trouble with people. And whether it's trolling or not, there's a lot, niggas just got their head on a swivel. You know what I'm saying? Mine's ain't on a swivel. You know what I'm saying? Because my shit is like this. I know for a fact if anything happens to me, whoever did the happening, oh man, they gonna have problems. As far as like if something happened to where, I was just wiped out, oh yeah, see, I ain't gotta worry about that. I know that, that just ain't gonna just, you know, dudes out here, a lot of guys get killed and it just happens and that's it. Like that ain't gonna happen to Zeno. Something happened to me, the heavens gonna fall. You know what I'm saying? So I don't worry about that. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm a frontline guy. I was on the front lines of them wars back in the days. I know what it is to be shot. I know what it is to, what I'm saying, look at trial. I know what it is to all that. That shit ain't cool. I'm not pushing that. I'm not putting a flag up for that. That don't make me tell what makes me is being a great father. None of my kids got felonies. You know what I'm saying? None of my kids even got. I'm not even a grandfather. You know what I'm saying? So I did good with mine. You know what I mean? The whole idea was to make them not me, and I did that better
Um,
than me, like Coy, like Ray Ray. I did that.
why do you feel like everybody? Do you feel like everybody hates Benzino?
Nah, everybody loves Zista. That shade room post almost had me in tears because it's like wow, like the support I got was crazy, and like although wherever I go out here, I'm like wherever I go, it don't matter where I go, it's love, man. It's love wherever I mean, it's just nonstop. It's like sometimes it's overwhelming. the grocery store, the airport, the gas station, the street, at the light, and I mean wherever I go, and it's from everybody, men, women, old, young. It's a blessing, man. My people love me. The struggle love me. The working class black people love me. You know what I'm saying? Now, the few internet people that maybe control the algorithms, there's a lot of them that might not. I don't care about them because I wouldn't be around them anyways. They would be nowhere around me. And if a few of them came out the hood and they that, I don't care about them no more either. I only care about the hood and them. If I get they love, I'm straight. And that's a good love to have. Millions of people in the hood. I don't know why people don't understand why the hood is dope and that love. Them few thousand people, it's 8 billion people in the world. A couple of people that might not like you on there. I had a see, it gives you the perception that it's everybody, but it really is a very small percentage.
It just seems like to me I always see a lot of negative things highlights posted of you whenever
Of
you go through
course.
something traumatic
Yeah.
or whatever.
I know.
You know that's when I see you hit the blog. I see you for negative shit. How do you feel when you see yourself? You get it. Anything happens. Where you
I'm used to it now. I'm at this point in my life. I'm used to it.
how do you deal with that shit though? You look up and there's a post. Oh, you Benzino's with a tranny.
Now, no, see, now that was like kind of like the cap off because I never went through that shit before. Like I watched a bunch of people go through the whole gay thing. Like, I've always looked at myself as just like one of the most, ladies, men in the industry. Like I've made my rounds, you know what I'm saying? And all my life, like, you know what I'm saying? I've never had to deal with gay rumors and gay shit, but I guess they had to get me. Like I guess there had to be some type of scandal because there's people out there that can't stop you physically, so they're gonna use the internet to try to stop you and push the narrative. That shit didn't work because it wasn't true. Like I would have took like 20 lie detector tests. I never even met that tranny. We've never even met in person. I've never even seen to this day.
Where did that shit come from?
Cricket from Detroit and Black Inks. Um, oh man, the original Black Ink. I don't want her to kill me, but we were smoking before I came in. So, Duchess. They just wrote a movie. I've done a lot of movies. I'm on like about 8 Tubi movies. They just wrote a movie called False Advertisement. Now, most of the movies I've been doing, as usual, give me the gun. He's the gangster. He's okay. This movie was about a gay man who had been mistaken. The woman mistakenly for him gay because he was somewhere with a gay guy, and he kept trying to play it off to win her love. Just a kind of like a comedic. It was just a good movie, man. I read the script. I said, you know what? They want me to play the head of an advertising agency who was straight. But it was, and I was like, hell yeah, I'll do it. Just let me do something different because I really love acting. And I felt like this could be my second calling. So I did the movie. I did really well in it. So I guess the transvestite, right? Because I'm trying to be really politically correct now. Because we went through a whole bunch of mess with this shit before. And I don't want to. I don't want to be disrespectful moving forward. So the transvestite also had a role in the movie. Now I never did a scene with, so we was never on set together. Transvestite got my number from Cricket. Cricket was the director. So I had a restaurant at the time, which I still got it. I had just opened it back then, still trying to open it, which we're getting ready to have a red carpet event finally next month, and I had asked for my number. So when Cricket told me that he gave me my number, I was kind of upset because, I hadn't really communicated with a transvestite before. Like I've communicated with like gay guys, you know what I'm saying? As far as doing business. And it took me a while for that because in Four Corners growing up, we wasn't exposed to that. So even dealing with gay men took a long time. To whereas that now I have, of course, a gay family member and I have gay friends and I've done business with gay guys. So that it took a while for me to do that. The transvestite I hadn't communicated with, so I was a little bit upset about it. But I had to put my big boy pants on, and so when the transvestite called, because it was part of the movie, and I'm trying to be cool with Cricket and Duchess, says, "Yo, we what's up, Benzino? What's up, man? I love you on Love and Hip Hop. We know the same people. Being real, very cool, very cool. Gave me a couple of compliments as far as Love and Hip Hop. We know the same people because the transvestite was on Love and Hip Hop. I was like, oh, that's cool. That's dope. That's dope. That's cool. So yeah, I was thinking about your want to rent out your spot because I be doing different events, casting in different movies. If you have any other movies, you let me know. If I have any movies, I'll let you know and mention Tyler Perry and mention different people. Yeah, that's fine. And that was in the first conversation. And I had asked if we could go out to lunch to talk about business. I was like, no. I said, no, we can't go out to lunch. No, that's, why? Well, because, and I'm trying to be respectful without hurting transvestites' feelings. And I'm like, well, because people that I'm around, they wouldn't understand me out to lunch with you. I said, we live in a society that people can't wait to make fun of people in these situations. And I don't want to go through that. All right, I understand. Now, the next conversation was, well, this is when I was with my child's mother. And the child's mother had seen the transvestite. I said, yo, can I call and talk about something, just some generic shit? Nothing. There was never no sexual advances, nothing, or nothing crazy. She was the first one to put it out years ago. Oh my God, you're a transvestite, but she was trying to bury me years ago with all kind of shit. And it never admitted to nothing because the transvestite was like, it was nothing. Now, somehow, I don't know what happened if the transvestite wants to go forward a couple of years now, even with the thing with Althea and the guy where I got into the argument and got locked up, that was years ago. It just was like, all this is coming up now because it was like a smear campaign. I seen it. I seen what it was. Somebody went and grabbed all this shit and really tried to, they want people to hate me, bro. And it just didn't work. Between that, the shit with Cavario, some other shit, it was like 5 different things. I went to jail, 5 different major things. And it didn't even because people know who I am. You know what I'm saying? That shit it wasn't true. The transvestite finally admitted. Because you could hear the editing of the conversation, of the second conversation. I'm like, yeah, I'm not used to this type of shit. I'm trying to be nice. But they try to make it like I'm not used to me and you in a relationship. She never once said that we was in a relationship. She would never once said. And it was all right because I got a chance to understand the LGBTQ LMNOP crew a lot better. And I understand that they're not even together. The L's don't like the L's don't agree with the B's and the B's don't agree with, it's just a whole, you would think that it's one thing, but my thing is it's an organization. My thing is let everybody live the way they want to live. If people want to have sex with men, that's them. Transvestites want to change their bodies in them, that's them. It's not me. I'm known for having a bad one. I'm known,
Man, you tried to drop some names earlier.
Yeah, we can't drop them until we can't drop nothing until because me, I don't kiss and tell, but I'm gonna start my podcast though, and then we can come on there and we can because I'm.
Oh no, we gotta get a name or two out there because you had some names in that list that you said earlier today.
I'm not
about to AB me today.
I'm not gonna admit to nothing.
Hey, look, I'm gonna start saying names out of this motherfucker.
I can say one. You know what? I'm gonna say one that I haven't ever said. I'm gonna give you one. Can we agree on that? I'll give you one.
Who you got for us, man?
What you mean?
Who you got for us?
Give you what this?
Because
she's a good one.
Hey, he switched up like a motherfucker. Now he done switched up.
Yeah, because we was talking in private. I didn't know it was coming. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I done mad at things where's that they wanted that. I said I couldn't, but I'll give one today. And I want to say that I'm with somebody whom I plan on marrying, who I love very much. You know what I'm saying? My girl Ashley. So I don't want her to think it's disrespectful, but she knows. But I'm gonna say one because this one I really fell for. And I'm gonna give you this one. I've never said this before. But I fuck with you, T. And we're in Miami. So it just makes sense. So I really had a thing for Trina. And I was down here, I had the Club Benzino. I was doing the Source Awards down here. Pockets on Sumo. I mean, I was doing really well. And man, I just had a crush on her. And I think I went to somebody, I forgot who it was. Me and her brother, Me and her brother got kind of cool. Monster. He's actually on Love and Hip Hop now, the one with the dreads down. You know, that's like my brother. But me and Trina ended up going out, ended up dating her. I really fell for her. You know, I mean, I remember I had flew Jacob in one time on her birthday, not just give her a diamond necklace. I flew Jacob in to put the necklace on her neck. You know what I'm saying? And you know, so we had a thing going for a little bit, and and I don't want to say that because I don't want her to get upset, but because she's really a a great person, and um, I felt bad when her mom passed this year, and I wasn't able to make it. You know what I'm saying? Her family's dope. She's went through a lot with losing people and everything, but you know, I you know what I'm saying? Like back then, there's a whole bunch of them, and you know, a lot of rappers.
Yeah, I
Like
heard you say you called Jacob, so
I called him. I put him on a plane. And I flew it, and she was surprised. And he came and actually put the diamond necklace on her neck. Like I don't know if anybody else did that for her. I'm sure guys gave her jewelry, but I don't know if they did that. Fly Jacob down here.
how much money?
And even
how much money that necklace cost?
I mean, that whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Not just that, but the big all. The what? I mean, it was. You know what I'm saying? It was it's over 6 figures. I mean, you know, and even now, you know, like Jacob act like he don't, and even Jacob, Jacob now act like he don't even. That's what killed me. Like I spent millions of dollars with Jacob. I gave like the whole source staff real diamonds and things, and I mean, you know, that Zeno piece was over $1 million. Like and Jacob act like he don't even. That's what I'm saying, man. Like I be bugging, man, because I spent real money with these people, and then when I fell, people act like that they don't even. I just be like, damn, man, it's crazy. But yeah, I did that. You know what I'm saying, and I could just say that we had a great time. You know what I'm saying, together. You know what I mean, and it was a good experience, but. It was something.
A good experience.
Well, no, no, only because at that time, I was really getting it, and it was just a great everything. The source, the awards, Club Zeno. I got the baddest bitch. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and not every we didn't. It wasn't out there for the industry to know because it wasn't necessarily social media, but people in Miami knew, because you know what I'm saying, like, because Trina. Everybody think, but Trina, from Lib City. So, you know what I'm saying? Like the hood, fuck with Trina. Like Trina, when they say she really is the Diamond Prince, she is down here. You know what I'm saying? Like this is her shit. You know what I mean? Like for real. And when you look at, listen, Trina, Kim, Foxy, I mean, without them, honestly, these women rappers need to be really, and then, when you look at Trina and Kim, their sexuality, now it's accepted now. It wasn't accepted back then the way they was doing it. They had to break the door down to do that. So she really is a pioneer.
You had something going on with Kim too, right?
Let's see. Wait, wasn't we ordering something to eat, Shaq? I told him one. And that's it. I'm gonna stick by it. Bennett. My name is Bennett, and I ain't.
No, you can't just leave one of them out.
No, that was it. Everything else, I am pleading the fifth on everything else.
I thought something about the B was run the rumble with the B. Oh, yeah.
Kill the whole damn family. Yo, but I tell you what though, she honestly, when you think of Kim, I mean, come on, she birthed all this. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Latifah and all, and even Angie B and them with Sequence. See, I remember from, Sha Rock and, you know what I'm saying, from the Funky 4+1. I can keep going on and on. Finesse and Quest. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, shit, Roxanne, Shantae, my sister, Shawnee, like for real. So there's just a lot of them. But Kim, you got to give her props because when they came in with all that designer shit and everything, I mean, you know what I'm saying? And then with me, I took on my father's type of persona. I just was good with all the ladies, man.
And what you would buy? See, I already know what you was doing. You was buying them.
No, I wasn't buying
them.
Man,
you had Jacob coming in.
I wasn't buying them, but if you got look at my thing is this.
You buying it.
Look at we don't gotta buy nobody, but if you doing good, you're supposed to treat the women that you're with. You're supposed to shower them with everything you want based on how you feel about them. Now, if you ain't got it, you can't do it. But if you got it, you motherfucking right, you're supposed to do it. I'm gonna do it with Ashley. I did it with Althea. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? Now I ain't do it with everybody because there's a lot of them. There's a lot, you know. But the ones that you felt the shit a certain way for, you supposed to.
The ones that was kind of hard to reach, you just
If you a man, that's what men do. If you a man, if you a man, that's what men do.
If you was tricking, just say that.
I don't call it tricking. I don't call it that. People call it tricking. The dudes who don't got no vocab and need it. Tricking is you need it to bag a bad one. I didn't need it. I had bad ones, and I'd be broke with a t-shirt, some fresh Adidas, and a fresh cut, and go bag the baddest. I done bagged a bunch of millionaires' wives, a bunch of moguls' wives, yeah, industry moguls' wives, rappers' wives.
Why y'all be fucking people wives though, man? Ain't nothing off limits, dog.
Wives?
Why you gotta fuck somebody's wife, bro? All these women out, you gotta go fuck a nigga wife. See, that's where your karma coming from. You knock down all these niggas' wives, they don't want you back in the industry, nigga. They done found out.
No, but you might have give me some. You might have a point there. And I'm gonna take that karma because I wouldn't want nobody to be knocking my wife down. But I am who I am. What can I say? You know what I'm saying? Like my thing is, you know, back then it was a small pool of really dudes getting money. At one point, I had more money than Jay and Diddy at one point. It wasn't the Forbes out there, but wasn't nobody seeing me at one point. So, yeah, like they was flocking. They was coming.
All from media.
Yeah, the source was media, but it was the first of its kind. And
right.
Hip-hop was just growing. And you know what I'm saying? You know, there's a lot of people that contributed to success. I don't say it was all me, but see, I gave the source credibility. I was the streets of hip-hop. You know, when hip-hop came up, there's the gangster, then there's like Backpack, and, you know, like I was the credibility. You know, and you know, it's blood sport to this day. You know what I'm saying? You just can't be out there getting all this money. You get eaten alive. You know, Dave, you know, it's funny because everybody thought that I was like the crazy one, but Dave really was the guy with the attitude. And it was me always trying to squash people from trying to go with him because of the way he talked to them and the way he treat them. You know, I mean, listen, you know, people trying to wipe my legacy out as far as the source, but without Zeno, the source wouldn't have been the source. The source would have been like a watered down version of XXL. Like nobody cares about XXL. There's no face to XXL.
Source is huge, man. Shit was huge.
We went through a lot, me and David, the source. Good, bad, and ugly.
Some of the most memorable things I remember the award show. You know, obviously the damn Suge Knight moment.
That moment was crazy, you know. I was standing like, if Suge's right here, then I was standing right there, right on the side of the stage watching it. Like, damn. I had my shit on me, so you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, but at the end of the day, I was such a West Coast and Dr. Dre fan and everything. But I'm an East Coast nigga. It was like, man, because you know, as a rap group, RSO, we was turned out with NWA. And then we got signed by Jay Prince. I lived in Houston for like a year. Like we was we was gangster rapped out when it came to that. So I'm sitting there like, oh man, I'm gonna be in the middle of this shit. Yeah.
What was it like at the time, just being a part of that? Like,
I mean, it was tense. It was tense because you really was. Me personally, I thought it was going down. I thought it was going. There was a lot of shit backstage, a lot of wildness, a lot of crazy shit. You know, a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, I say a lot of shit, but then there's like shit behind the shit that is like, whoa. You know, so
talk to me about Wack 100.
I really never met Wack in person to this day. You know what I'm saying? Wack, when the shit was going on with the transvestite situation, Wack jumped in my shit and was like, yo, bro, I want to help you. I got some lawyers, I got some people that can help you. You know what I'm saying? You know, even if you want to, you know, he was talking about defamation with 50 and lawsuits and everything. I said, yeah, all right. You know, he got some lawyers, you know what I'm saying? You know, I thought he was a stand-up guy, but then, you know, what I found about Wack is that Wack just is about content. So Wack will say anything. You know, Wack was just, I get it now. Now, but the thing with Wack is like, what I don't understand with Wack is like, why would you want to make all the enemies that you're making? See, because you have to adjust your life when you're saying these things. You have to, you know, then you got to think about the people, you know, like your loved ones. Like if you out here making, you know, saying things, people that people love, like, you know, like the Nipsey Hussle was gay thing. And, bro, there's people that love that man, just like like you're making enemies, and that's the part I don't understand. And if you don't care about you, I don't give a fuck. All right, well then you should care about the people around you. You know what I'm saying? And that's the part I don't like it, that you would make content by any means necessary to risk, issues. You know what I'm saying? So I don't, I know Wack's goals and what he's doing, so I don't take Wack too serious about all that shit. Wack say this gay, that gay, the next thing he's lying butt ass naked with his ass up on the thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? He get a taste of his own medicine. You know what I mean? The internet is deadly. So I don't, again, I don't put too much into the internet.
Me and Wack had an exchange on Clubhouse about a year and a half ago or some shit like that. And now I forever think this nigga was yelling, talking that shit to me with his ass in the air.
See,
that's the biggest
Clubhouse is Wack's.
That's nigga was arguing with his ass in the air. Like,
Clubhouse is where Wack's support is. That's where his gain. But one thing about Clubhouse is, last year Clubhouse, you go on Clubhouse this year, it's the same people and the same shit. It don't elevate. And I'm afraid what they don't understand is all that negative, dumb shit and energy is why it doesn't elevate. It comes a time where people don't want to hear that shit. We already got enough problems and we trying to elevate. We trying to make moves. And I get it. Like, these things are clickbait and and Benzino's gay and it's, nah, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? I had to understand it. I get it now. I understand it now. I'm sure
if you were gay, would you tell people?
Yeah, I would. Why not? I'd have no problem with it. Gay is accepted. Shit, you get more being gay now than a nigga from the street who ain't.
Can a street nigga with the credibility that you had over the years say, hey man, I'm openly gay?
Hell, what? Right now, in a heartbeat. And probably my fucking Instagram followers would be 7 million right now. It's just the truth. Like, you know what I'm saying? I got gay friends, cool ass niggas. Dude came to me, gay people come to me all the time. Benzino, I'm sorry what they did to you. And I know you ain't gay. I'm just sorry that I'm letting you know that the real gay community doesn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, you know what I mean? Like, if I was gay, I was gay. I like pussy. There's nothing better than, I'm crazy over pussy. I gotta calm down over pussy. You know what I'm saying? Like, niggas, I'm not fucking no nigga, no ass, have no man suck my nut. I'm not into that. That shit is disgusting and nasty. But if you're into it, then that's you. Just keep that shit away from me. I don't want to look at gay shit. I'm not into that. It's not me. To each his own, though. God bless. I'm just not. It don't turn me on. You know what I'm saying? No, it's something like, my thing is like, it must be something real because a lot of motherfuckers is gay. A lot of people are gay. So, it must be something that's real. It must be something that has some validity to it because people are gay. We just have to respect each other. What you want to do in the bed and your sexual preference, I could care fucking less. Can we get a bag together? All right. The transvestite thing is different because, and I'm trying not, it's because you're altering yourself. So you got to get past looking at somebody being altered. That's not nothing I grew up in life seeing human beings that ain't altered. So when you altering and getting shit cut up and this and that just getting past that is like, damn, you know what I'm saying? But I'm sure deep down inside that there's a great person in there. But I don't want to have sex with you. I'm not fucking with you. You got a dick. You like if you're let me ask you, if you're a transvestite and they do an operation, would you consider them a woman if they still have a dick?
Man, why you trying to set me up, nigga? Don't be.
I'm not a censor. That's
that's
a valid ass question.
Hey, look, he try to get the LGBTQ plus to jump me, nigga. No,
man, shit.
Man, no,
I'm not worried about nobody jumping me.
When they jumping, they gonna jump you, nigga. They gonna jump you on your own.
See, but look at though.
Me and the LGBTQ plus, we fucking riding. We
cool.
Yeah,
right. But guess what though? You ain't got to say that for them because they already would know if you ride them or not. The LGBT, even after me going through all that, you think there's not gay motherfuckers like, that's right, Benzino. There's a lot of gay people who's not with that stupid shit. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of gay people who's not with that trying to oust and all that goofy and all that dumb shit. They're not with that. They know that I'm not disrespecting them personally when I say the things, but I got to defend my straightness. So defending my straightness, if it's saying some shit to where is that it's against gay, they know that it was brought out because of a gay motherfucker trying to start trouble. They're not stupid. Gay people are cool as hell. In the end, they're smart. You know what I'm saying? I don't got to sit here and be like, I'm not gay. I don't give a fuck about that. You think what you want to think about me. You disrespect me in person, you're going to have to deal with me in person. It's simple. I don't have a problem with that. That's why when all that gay shit came up, that shit didn't bother me. At first it did because it was like, oh shit. But then as I thought, I'm like, nigga, you've never been gay. Where's the picture? Where's the video? Where the fuck? Where at? Like, come on, we live in fucking 2023. You think that if Benzino was sucking somebody's dick, it wouldn't be a fucking video of it front and center? I got OnlyFans, and I got probably one of the first celebrity sex tapes out there, rapper sex tapes out there. Been out there 10, 11 years now, all on all the sites. So
Now, why you leak your sex tape?
I didn't leak it. I got extorted for it. I got extorted for it. This happened almost 11 years ago. When
how they get the tape?
Because the girl taped it. I let her tape it like an ass.
We know the men is the ones that always tape. Stop the bullshit.
It happened right down here. It was a Spanish chick. Yup, named Isis. I'll never forget.
Where you meet her at?
I met her at a club. Took her back to I had a house on North Bay Village. Banging it out, you know what I'm saying? Next thing you know, and the good thing is, shit, you see I wore condoms. A condom right there. I'm in the tub with
I
her.
look at you, dick. I look at you. You pour no dogs.
I'm just saying in general. You know what I'm saying? I like porn. I like watching porn. You know what I'm saying? It ain't nothing.
Crazy,
shit, we all human. You know what I mean? Look, the body's the body, man. Like when I found out that you can make money, I made about 40 bands on OnlyFans, and I'm not even having sex with anybody. I'm just showing my shit. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm in good shape. Fuck it.
Do you look at the pictures of who be asking and requesting? Because I know there's some dudes that
Of
be
course there is, but what the fuck can I do about that? I can't do nothing about that.
See,
I
that's
don't
what
give a fuck.
I was like, nah, fuck no, I can't be on
Listen, man. Listen, man. So you don't think that there's gay men that I'm sure there's gay men in your DM?
Hey, it's a couple gay
There's a
niggas.
gay men in my DM.
And I done had to post them niggas like, hey, look, bitch ass nigga, don't play me like that.
See, I don't do that.
Nah,
If they're super disrespectful, I might block them. But at the end of the day, you can't stop that. I figured that out. I had to maneuver my mind to understand this. Now, 20 years ago, there's no way we'd be having this conversation. I'm more mature. You have to adjust and adapt to the times.
Hey, hold on, Pop. I gotta call you out, man. So you can have an OnlyFans, but Corey can't sing about pussy. Come on, dog.
I'm saying.
Come on, Pop.
I'm saying.
Come on, Pop.
I'm saying Corey's not going to be on my OnlyFans.
No, but I'm just saying. Come on, Pop.
What's the matter with that?
Come on, Pop. She's just singing. It's entertainment.
Right, but I don't have to listen to it unless she's making a
Pop,
song that I can listen
Pop.
to. No, unless she's listening. Corey got songs that I love that have nothing to do with all that. I love that anxiety track is one of my. I listen to that all the time. She don't even know all the time. Like I love Corey to death, man. There's no jealousy with Corey. I love her music.
You feel like you're a good dad?
The best. I just told you.
So what would you do to make?
I just told you.
Let me ask you this. So what would you do to make it right with your daughter?
What I'm gonna do to make it right?
What would you do to make it right?
I believe at this point, you know what I'm saying? God has to make it right. And if God comes through me, and if God goes through Corey, and it's at a moment that we're gonna make it right, then that's gonna be from God. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, right? Respect. Respect is the number one thing. Once in real life you lose it, forget about the internet. If people don't respect you in real life, God made space so that y'all don't have to be around each other, so y'all can exist without problems. And that's what I live by. You know what I'm saying? I have to have respect for my kids in order for me to function around them. If I can't have respect from them, I can't function properly around them as a man, as their father. So when they get older, I didn't even know that you could disrespect parents like that and get away with it. But it's a new times. So the only thing I could do is use what God gave me, a space.
I heard you mention you have felt like you didn't have a handbook how to be a parent. And I always
Right.
say that, man. I'm like,
Right.
even as a father, man, sometimes I'm like,
Yeah.
when you,
You ain't went through shit yet.
When you had to deal with certain shit.
Your shit's easy now. When they get to be 16, 17, 18, oh yeah, we're gonna have this conversation again.
Yeah, I got a 16-year-old right now, so I'm trying to keep him a kid as long as I can.
Imagine if it was a girl, 16-year-old girl, you have no clue. It's like night and day. Like a 16-year-old boy and a 16-year-old girl, as a father, Now you'll never know unless you have it. You'll never know. It's different. It's different. Believe me, it's not easy.
What I will say, I went like 3 years not talking to my dad. A lot of animosity, a lot of disrespect. I think I think misunderstanding from generational gap and even like some of the shit that I think a lot of times when parents aren't, you know, parents are separated. We grow up a lot of us grow up with broken households, don't truly understand the dynamic of what was taking place between the parents, everything else. And, you know, you as a parent, you're looking at it from your perspective. Like, man, I had to do this all the time because like even like with my youngest, like I see you can see like the difference and change of like when you're in the household and when you're gone.
It's
You can
major.
see a lot of
It's
differences
major.
and
Glad
just
you said that. Glad you said that. It's
so
major.
so I know you said this respect factor that you feel like was lost with your daughter. Um, which the internet and it's triggering when you get online and you get all these other people that get to pushing in the comments and all that.
And
It can,
support you.
but it can incite you too. Because
Of course.
I was
Of
there, man. You
course.
feel if you feel like you're alienated or you feel
Of
like
course.
you're not getting heard the way you want to be heard.
Well, can I say something without?
Yeah,
But imagine, and this is for her too. Imagine if you just took that out in person and not on the public. Like if she could have felt a certain way about me, the internet didn't know about us having any type of issues. I didn't until I seen the internet. It shouldn't be on the internet. If it the personal stuff, and it seems like everybody runs to it. People get so mad that all they want to do is expose you, and that's just bad, man. That's just bad. I mean, are you and your dad cool now?
we are. Yeah,
So isn't that don't you see how dope that is? And don't you kind of see how maybe it was unfair some of your anger towards him and would probably shouldn't have even really been since he's the father. It's easy to take it out on him because he's a strong figure of you seeing. It's like so he's gonna be the dartboard. But don't you see like later on that things are kind of calm and cool that some of the stuff that you was angry about really it shouldn't have been really all his fault.
for my particular situation, it was actually directed at him, and it was some stuff that happened that he did that was wrong, and it happened publicly, and that's why I addressed it
Well,
publicly.
that's different.
So
That's different. Mine wasn't like that.
yeah. So basically, I had a best friend of mine who was online in the real estate space, and my dad co-signed him, and basically it was kind of like a situation where uh, the friend started doing dirty business with me,
Right.
but was still using my dad, and my dad was getting all his clout off my friend's following
Okay.
and the growth that he was getting.
Mhm.
So at the time, I didn't have a following. I didn't have nobody knew who Tony the Closer was. So my dad went with the clout,
Hmm.
and you know,
How old is he?
uh, shit, 56.
Shit, he's my age.
Yeah, yo.
Wow.
So,
That's why you agreeing with Coy.
but
Because y'all are like it's almost the same.
man, I'm 40.
You
Shit, I'll be
40? So he
39.
had you when he was what, 16,
I'm
17?
39. So my dad had me. No, he might be pushing 60. Shit, how was my dad? Um, he might be pushing 60.
Okay.
But no, he's pushing 62. Shit,
Okay.
I'm off a little bit.
Okay.
Um, but just you know the reality of what we actually were going through with with the way that shit took place, it made me feel like now he pit me against the internet and everybody because people were now involved and you thinking like, okay, if your dad is working with you, then you must not be official and all these other different things.
Well,
were
that's how you
happening.
thought though.
That's how I internalized it. And,
That's how you
and
internalize
it wasn't just that; it was shit that people were actually saying too. So it was coming out.
Even though they don't matter.
Of course, you see in the grand scheme, people would say people don't matter or opinions don't matter, but in 2023, that shit matters because the way somebody can run with the narrative.
Okay, well there it is. There you go. I don't know if the opinions matter. It's how you you know, put them together and make them be what you want them to be. And that's where it's at. You said it to me. You was like, yeah, you know, people get the wrong impression of you because of the internet. Well, I'm the king of that. And what I'm telling you is that, and you know it, it ain't like that when you go outside. So I understand what you're saying business wise. And when you use the internet for monetary gains, that you want the narrative to always look a certain way. But at some point, the areas that you want to look a certain way, if they're not, if it's not truth, anyways, then that's going to rear its ugly head one day. And that's all I'm saying. If whatever the internet says about you, if it's true, then you're going to have a hard time. If it's not true, then you're going to be all right. And you know what I'm saying, have to know that. And that's what I know. Like, I know 90% of that bullshit on there ain't true. That's why it doesn't bother me. Now, granted, it might take, you know, from whatever I'm trying to accomplish that much longer because I have to deal through the narrative and have to try to change the narrative on the internet. And if what I'm doing requires the internet for me to make money, I have to deal with that. But as long as I keep my feet out here, then I'm gonna be okay. You know what I'm saying? And that's why, you know, even at 57, I'm still every day out here going to these hoods, going people, you know what I'm saying? Because you can't, that's why when you run for politics, you go on a tour and you gotta go touch the people. They don't sit their asses behind a computer all day and wait for the narrative. They go out there and they touch the people, and that's all I've been doing. And I've touched enough of them to where people, even when they watch these things, even when they watch, I'm sure a lot of that shit that people be like, man, Benzino's my guy. I fuck with Benzino.
Christmas just went by.
Mhm.
Did you try to reach out to your daughter?
And she didn't try to reach out to me.
So you gonna be the leader?
I've already tried that. You know what I'm saying? Not even be, you know, I am the leader, but I'm not, you know, it comes a time where you have to make sure that kids understand right from wrong. I can't keep being treated a certain way and then be the one to try to, I'm going to sit back. And then ultimately, they have to be able to reap what they sow, and they have to be able to learn from God and learn from experiences. And hopefully, they come back. You know what I'm saying? If not, then there's nothing I could do about that. I have to, at this point, if I'm not getting the love and the respect from them, I have to be around people who are going to give me love and respect. It doesn't always have to come from the blood that you are. At this point, the way the system of the world works, loyalty, love, and respect, it doesn't really you don't even have to have it to move on. Back then, when I came up, you needed it. Now it's just, you know, everything is just about money. You know what I'm saying? If you got money, then that's where everybody's going to flock to. When I had money, everybody loved me. When I didn't, it was gone. It's simple as that. Don't take a rocket scientist to understand that.
That's some deep shit there.
Not really. It really is. It really is pretty much like, I think everybody knows it, but when you go through it with, like, you know, look, I got shot by my nephew going to my mother's funeral. I mean, you know what I mean? You know, family, you know, we've all grew up in crazy situations. So, you know, that family, man, they'll be the one to kill you. So, you know what I'm saying? You would like your family growing up, man. I used to watch the Brady Bunch. I used to love that shit. Eat a bowl of cereal and watch the Brady Bunch coming up. And it used to be like, damn, you know, I used to want that, man. My brothers, we all living together, and the mother's going up with the father, and we're all going on trips together. That shit couldn't be furthest from the truth for me. So you deal with what you deal with. And I made sure I did everything right just so that I would be distant from my family. And it didn't work out that way. You know what I'm saying? I took care of everybody with thousands and thousands of dollars, with my love, with my time, with everything. What else could I do? And you know what I'm saying? And then once the money dries up, things happen.
What's the most money you had at one time?
I wouldn't even know. Just know that there was nothing I didn't do. I was doing, like I told you, we ran up 200 some $1,000s at the Beverly Hills. I damn near was living there. I mean, I just was doing like, man, just.
You regret spending that type of money?
I mean, well, not having it now, of course. I should have saved something, of course. I'd be a fool to say no. You know what I'm saying? But I was money ignorant. I was money ignorant.
So
The only money knowledge I had was street money knowledge. Street money knowledge was, man, was me and my man Trev, man, Free Trev, Big Trev, man. We used to be like, man, we used to go grab 2 bricks. And man, usually you're supposed to, get the man his money first, but we'd always go take our shit first. We call bust a ticket. And we go down there, when we go down on Newberry Street and buy, man, $700 suede shirts, Versace, this was in the 80s. And bust all money down. We have no money, and now we got to sell the rest of this shit, give him his money. End up coming back short. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so, and then have to work the other shit, get to give, you know what I'm saying? So I was always that type of guy, just the mentality that I go out there and get it again. So all the money was coming from Dave. Whatever I needed, it came from him. It came, you know what I'm saying? We would go to the showroom in Manhattan, just jump in the car. And I'll never forget, we went, we was just bored, man. We left his office, it was me and him. Usually we'd be deep as fuck, me and him. We took a cab to the Bentley place. To the Bentley in Manhattan. In Manhattan, it's actually in the window. The fucking Arnages, the Bentleys are actually like in the window. You know what I'm saying? Because they're small. They're not like big ass car dealerships. So they're very small little fucking spots. We drove both our shit out on the street. We picked up Marvette Brito and God rest the dead, Kim Porter. And I had Marvette. I think Dave had Kim. And we was just driving around and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Man, what you doing riding around with Kim?
It was.
Man.
Bro, listen,
Bruh,
you ain't seen, you ain't heard nothing. When I get my podcast going, bro, you don't even understand. You ain't heard shit. And I hope when I get my podcast and I mention everything, man, you know what I'm saying? Because I look at me, people couldn't wait. People see me, want to see me suffer and see me fall. Now, you know what I'm saying? When I say that, I'm just gonna tell my story. And I'm not gonna disrespect nobody, but I'm just gonna tell my truth. And I got thousands of stories to tell. And it's not all about sexual shit and everything, because I give some good relationship advice and I got some good steamy, spicy stories, but I also could tell you about business. And I also could tell you about the streets. And I also could tell you about what happened with this artist and that. It's just too much. It's just too much. It's too much. You just don't even understand. What I gave you today was some jewels, though, because I never spoke on any of my stuff before Love and Hip Hop. Nobody even knew. I dated mad celebrities and mad actresses and everything. Nobody knew because I was
like Diamond.
I'm not saying nothing, man. We ain't saying nothing.
The Players Club.
Man.
I'm
Tony crazy. Everybody was my friend out here. Man. I had friends. We was all friends, and there's nothing wrong with being friends. And I'm sure once I do indulge in my situation more, coming soon, and tell my story, my book, my series, everything, my life, I'm sure people understand it. Friends, we're all friends, and people date, people have good times, and that's just what it was. Like I said, I was on the top of the food chain back then in the source. Like I had millions in the 90s, you know what I'm saying? The late 90s, you know what I'm saying? That towards the late 90s, millions. So, it wasn't too many people getting it like that. And I made some bad investments. I made some wrong moves. Things happened. I got indicted and we lost everything. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So it's just a matter of bouncing back. God sat me down for a minute. He had to humble me and I respected it and I understood it. And I took my punishment and, I'm on the way back up and I don't take nothing for granted. I made some mistakes. I made some amazing accomplishments and I made some bad moves. But that's what living and learning is about. And I'm just blessed to still be here to talk about it.
That's real, man. Hey, that's a good ass interview.
You a bad boy. I ain't gonna lie. You a bad boy.
Interview.
You a bad boy.
You tried to hold on. You didn't dropped out that you had.
Nobody got what you got about me. I've never done that. I've been on Mike Tyson. Shout out to Mike. I've done Vlad. I've done everybody. I've done lately. I've been doing a lot of podcasts and but I just felt like I could do that because again I'm giving flowers also to her. So it's not like that. But like I said, I have a new new person in my life. We plan on coming back to Miami. She's an amazing woman, very smart, intelligent. She's beautiful, and this is gonna be it for me. And what I'm saying, I don't. I want to get married before. I've never been married, bro.
Oh, wow.
I want to do it, yeah, man. Hell yeah, yeah. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it in Miami if I live down here. So you coming? And man, I envy anybody who's married. I envy those things. I was on Love and Hip Hop, and they see me wilding. They see me like put a ring to somebody, take it back. They see me get on a Ferris wheel, get on my knees, and put a big ring on a finger, you know what I'm saying? And then it never happened. And I kind of regret it, you know what I'm saying? And so I want to.
Did you enjoy your time on Love and Hip Hop?
I did. You know what I'm saying? I got shot the time I was on Love. I didn't enjoy that part, but I did, man. It was an experience I look back on now. It's hard. It was hard doing it because when them cameras stop, them problems come because of the shit that's on there. But you know, you got to, you know, people ask me all the time. Two things they ask me: are you and Stevie still cool? And is everything real? And I say this: you know, me and Sleaze, after that shit happened, we didn't speak for almost a year. And me and Sleaze were brothers before it. And, you know, it put a strain on our relationship for a year, but then we got back together, and that's my brother. We talk every day now. You know, he got Bon Bon from Jocelyn. I got Zeno from Althea. And here we go. You know what I'm saying? Who would ever thought? You know, the stuff that we went through because of them two women, we're not even with them now. But we had women, but we had like love and hip hop babies, you know, to say. So, um, you know, it was a hell of an experience, you know what I'm saying? And
Did y'all think it was gonna be as big as it
nobody
became?
did. Nobody did. But let's face it, like that happened because of Stevie. Shout out to Mona Scott and everybody that and VH1. But without Stevie coming in and did what he did as far as with the Mimi and Jocelyn situation, they used that as the blueprint for everything moving forward. Nobody guys wasn't doing reality shows were for women. Basketball Wives, Love and Hip Hop wasn't necessarily about guys. When me and Sleaze got together, we made it about guys, and that's what kind of opened up
Y'all was
that
characters
guy
for
on
sure.
guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's how we are in real life, man. Like when he comes to Miami, you hang out with us, you're gonna see it. Like everything you see there is just when you see me and him, everything was real. It was just super real. That's just how we are.
That's why I gave you your respect today too.
That's my brother.
He
Like
gave you your respect.
we are like me and we've been through so much and we get it. Like I love Stevie daily and he loves me.
Hey y'all, I asked. I was like, "Hey yo, I had my money on Stevie J for the hit list." I said, "Who got the longer hit list?" And Stevie's like, "Shit, no, bro." He said, "That's OG. He got it."
I mean, I told listen, Sleaze took it to the next level. Like Sleaze, after loving hip hop, the next level. But I'm older, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? So my time before that, you know what I mean? But, you know, you know what I'm saying? Like I look at my relationships with women and I regret some of the things that and who I was and how I was. But you live and you learn, man. And you know what I'm saying? I've learned one thing I have learned is that man, women have really made their mark, like, you know what I'm saying, as far as in the hip hop industry. And, I've learned to appreciate them more than just as sexual objects, as over the last years of my life, 20 years, just looking to them, you know what I'm saying, to appreciate them and what they bring to the table with their minds and their skills. I mean, it's just amazing. So, I had to learn, but hey, listen, at least I learned, you know what I mean? And I'm happy I did. I can look at a woman as my equal and not just somebody who just looks beautiful and somebody to sleep with, you know what I'm saying? So, but that's just evolving, you know what I mean?
Benzino's top 3 female artists, rappers.
Ever? Oh, okay. Well, yeah, Kim, um, Roxanne Shante, because she really broke down some doors, and then Coy Leray. All right. I did good.
You better have put your daughter in there, nigga.
I did good.
Nigga, you better have put your daughter in there.
I do good.
Hey.
Love you, Coy.
Yeah, you better. Hey, you know I was setting him up for that one, Coy. I had to make sure he put. Yeah. I know you. But
like I told you
be
before,
dancing in the house with that shit.
No, I told you anxiety. I listen to it a lot. Let me tell you something. Like I get emotional when I hear No More Parties. It's an emotional song. I get goosebumps. I be at places and it's just played, and you know what I'm saying. Yeah, I mean, whoever, I didn't see it coming. Ray Ray, I seen coming. He's been rapping all his life. He came on the Rough Riders tour with us, 7 years old. I brought Coy never really necessarily I brought her. She grew up in it all her life, but she told me, she says, "Dad, I'm gonna be the biggest. I'm gonna be bigger than everybody. I'm gonna be big." She said it, And she went and she did it herself. And for that alone is just like, Coy's more like me than my sons are. She just has got that attitude, and it was like, man, it's like, wow.
That's why I think over time y'all be able to heal because I told you, man, like one of my things was like I had to go prove my point first. You had to put respect on my name. And it sounds like kind of like the mission she's on is exactly that.
Listen, but listen, what she did, big respect, because again, she's like, I'm going to do it without you, but, but, you know, being Benzino's daughter, it's not that bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be the one to be thinking like, oh, well, nah, because I'm that nigga too. And I'm never just gonna just oh yeah, nah, yeah. Like I went through a lot. You know what I'm saying? Just just for her and Ray Ray to even be able to you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? Like listen, if no one's gonna give it to me, I gotta give it to me. You know what I mean? Shit. If no one, sister, I want everybody to think like that. Don't ever feel down on yourself. Don't everyone think that you know what I'm saying? Like if you ain't your biggest cheerleader, then ain't nobody gonna cheer for you. Shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, but man, I could be more. Again, as a father, when your kids ain't in jail and they ain't got no felonies and they financially independent, what the fuck more could I ask for? Like, I'm proud. I'm super proud of them. I just know what I went through so that they could get what they got, and you know what I'm saying. And you know what I mean. So, I just want love and respect. That's all. That's it. That's
All right,
all.
last one we're gonna wrap. You told me about a J Lo house party, a house.
J Lo. All right. So J Lo's crib was down here by 40th, I think, on the water at the time, and we rented it out, and I was staying there, and Bobby and Whitney came through. B's my man. Bobby's my man. Shout out New Edition, Boston. What up? What up, Bean Town, the Bloody Bean, and Girk, yeah, I mean Pork. So you know, Hops like Boston. I am Boston. You know what I'm saying? Adidas. I've wore Adidas for 43 years straight. You know what I'm saying? Like I've never. That's a Boston nigga. We don't wear Nikes. I've never had a pair of Jordans or Nikes. I've wore Adidas 43 years straight. So I'm a real Boston nigga. So Bobby brought Whitney in, and God rest Bobby Christina. She had to be about 7 years old, maybe 6. So it was me and my father Schnapp. Shout out to Schnapps, and we was at the house, and there was a boat and a jet ski behind it. So we all went out. Bobby Christina, me, and my father got in the little boat, and Whitney and Bobby got on the jet ski, and went all over the bay. So of course you see low wake. Low wake means don't go over there. But you know Bobby, you know what I'm saying? Bob off a few Budweisers, wild boy Bob. He goes over to low wake, you know what I'm saying? They stuck, him and Whitney. So we go over there with the boat. We got to go slow. We got to pull them out. So we're dragging them. Now we're going real slow now. It's getting to be nighttime. Bobby Christina's crying. It's starting to be scary. We ain't got no lights. So we had to pull over on the side with one of these mansions. Pull over to the side. We see a woman coming out. It's an all glass, beautiful house. A white woman with a big bathrobe on, hairdo, like a Jewish woman. She's looking out the window. So we lift up Whitney and Bobby. They run over there, banging on the door. She was like, "Oh my God, why they out?" She let Whitney in there. Bobby gets up, goes. The husband comes down. This big fat guy, no hair in the middle, glasses, Jewish guy. They're all over there. They let him in. Me and my father's in the back wrapping up the thing because we couldn't tell. We'd have to come back and get him in the morning. The jet ski and the boat. We would have to come back and get him. The boat was actually Queen Latifah and Shakim's boat. The jet ski was J Lo's. We come back in the morning. The fucking boat. We just see this thing. The boat's underwater. I said, "Ain't this a bitch?" I had to pay like $40,000 for that fucking boat because of Bob's ass. But that was just me and Bob got way ill stories. You know what I'm saying? Like Bob's an ill dude. Like me and Mike Jackson are cool. You know what I'm saying? I got to really kick it with Mike a bunch of times. Teddy Riley, like there's nobody I didn't come across. Like I was, smoke weed with Dionne Warwick. Like, there's a lot of things.
What was it like hanging with Michael Jackson?
Breathtaking. Just couldn't. It was hard to breathe. Just couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. And then when Eminem went at Mike and he made fun of him when he burnt his hair. You remember that video? He made fun of him. Mike actually called me at my hotel room at the Turnberry Suites in Aventura. I spoke with him for 1 hour and he was thanking me. You know what I'm saying? Thanking me. Because he didn't appreciate that. He did not like that. Mike was upset about that.
Oh, so you had an ally with Mike.
Mike was my man.
Okay.
Before the Eminem thing, then when the Eminem thing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But me and Mike wore my 3 chain. I remember Jacob. Yeah, I'm gonna tell this story. So Mike, I had a 3 chain that Chris the Iceman made. The Iceman, Chris Air, African guy. I brought him on Love and Hip Hop. The jeweler. But I remember Jacob wanting, because it looked like the glove. It was the whole thing was huge, ice, platinum, everything was platinum. And he was like, yo, Mike, Mike wants to wear it. Because he was trying to sell Mike diamonds to put in his buttons and the shoes and stuff. Mike wasn't trying to buy no chains or nothing. He was trying to sell him real diamonds to put in his buttons of his clothes. So Mike had my 3-piece for like 2 weeks. But I think Jacob was, trying to say that, that he made that. Now, Jacob made the chain that it was on, but he didn't make the actual glove. And Mike had that for like 2-3 weeks. Mike had my shit, wearing my shit, like crazy, 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 crazy world, man. And I remember Teddy, because Teddy was the one that introduced me to Mike. You know what I'm saying? So when I listen to Teddy talk, and Teddy's personality reminds me of Mike. You could tell that Mike's influence on Teddy Riley is because Teddy's soft spoken and Mike's soft spoken. You could just see it, man. Man, I don't got too much to complain about, bro. I work with some of the most amazing producers and been around some of the most amazing people in my life, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just, it's like my
Was there anybody that you met that you just felt like you were wild? Wow, I'm meeting Michael Jackson.
Yeah. That was like, I couldn't believe. I remember I'm cooking shrimp. Turn around, it was like right there because he had walked in. It was in Teddy's studio. He had like a small studio, so the kitchen area was a kitchenette. And I didn't know what to say. I asked if he wanted some. You want some? He was like, no. He would shut down the whole Dave and Buster's and just take us over to Dave and Buster's. We'd be like 10 of us just in Dave and Buster's. And I remember I was doing the flight simulator. He stood over me, had a trench coat on, and was just watching me like.
This sound crazy, dog.
It was crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Mike is my fucking hero. When Mike died, I cried.
I cried when Mike died too. Shit, Mike was a lot of people here.
And I never took a picture with him. I just was never that nigga. I've been around so much shit, and never, yo, take a picture.
I always be doing that too. I'd be like, nah, I'm cool.
I just never did because back then I just was like, man, listen, just another day. You know what I mean? I didn't have to share my shit with people. And what's messed up is that because my mom passed and she had all my old pictures, so I don't even got old pictures of myself. Not a lot. There's a few people that might have some, but not a lot. So when I tell my story, I got to go really back to Boston, make sure to see who got pictures, man. But yeah, man, I've done some amazing things, man. It's all God, man. You know what I mean? Just I wasn't supposed to even make it this long. Like I said, all my guys are gone, man.
Mike, Whitney, J-Lo. Some of this stuff is just like, wow. A-list.
It's a lot more too. Like, it's just a lot more. Like, you understand, like, from 11 years old all the way, we had the Source run was a good 18-year run, So, but I had some good runs, and then Love and Hip Hop, and then I was on 5 different networks and like 8 different reality shows, trying to get love right. People seeing that, so it's like, people know me from a long time. I've been around for a long, in all the generations. Still here, and that's would be kind of cool if I could get it together with Coy and Ray. Because can you imagine? We could have our own. I mean, we really are hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like when it comes to hip hop kids and fathers, like Chavo is doing really well. Coy's doing well. Like there's not too many people out there like that got their kids doing super good. And you know what I'm saying? So we'll see what the future holds, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm opening up a restaurant, start my podcast. I like the future. It was great to see. Almost shed a tear when I seen the Shade Room. Shout out to the Shade Room because it was like a transition of watching everybody support me, and it just meant so much to me, and I just was like so grateful. And even
They be dogging you out on the next post. Enjoy it while it lasts.
well, even the haters. Well, I don't know
Enjoy it
because
while it
I don't know,
lasts.
but I got some defenders now. Because even the haters was like I got a lot of defenders that was defending me. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I that was good to see. I was happy to see that. I know my mom was smiling on me, because everything I do, I want to make her proud. Because she still see me. Because she was the one that wasn't with the street shit. And I'd always have to. I remember when Ray Ray was first born, I fell asleep with him on me with like 32 pounds in my room. She came in after work because I would try to hide everything from her. And she seen that shit, and she opened the door, and I woke up, and she went in her room, and she just gave me the cold shoulder. She locked the door, and I just was like, I felt so bad, man. Like, because everything, even though I was a street nigga, I just try to keep it all away from her, even though she knew what was going on. I just, you know, so hopefully she's smiling at that Shade Room post because the internet has been hard on me. Like I said, I don't need no pity party. I don't need no, what I'm saying, because that shit ain't, that shit can't harm you physically. It can mentally harm you if you let it.
Yeah, those comments and reading that shit all day and waking up to it, going.
Sometimes it can be stressful, but I learned to, again, you don't pay attention to it, you stay off it. Another thing is if you look at your shit and if you're on your phone 7 hours, 6, 7, 8 hours a day, then there's something very wrong with you. Like you got to get off the phone and get out there in the real world. It's the real world that's going to keep us going. I understand that we're making money off this, but you cannot just be everything. Everything can't be off the internet. People, you got to touch people and look at people and see people. People are desensitized. They're emotionless. People laugh out loud and be like this. I watch people do the laugh out loud and their faces be like this. What the fuck weirdo shit is that? It's the Twilight Zone shit. Like they laughing. Like they don't know how to laugh anymore. So I'm glad I was born in the time I was because I could teach a lot of people who understand because the ones who only think it is now, they think the tell-all be-all is that. And I'm telling you, they'll miscalculate it and they'll fuck their money up in the long run, just like Bitcoin and all that crypto shit. You know what I'm saying? Don't put everything into this. Balance it. 50 this, 50 the real universe, 50 the virtual. Don't put everything into this. You'll make a mistake. You'll think that that's the narrative, and it could be far from it. You'll be holding yourself from getting money out there thinking that this is what they think in you, and they really ain't. Get out there and meet people and network and actually feel and touch. Then that's how you make money, make shit happen. And that's the truth.
I did say one last question, but I do got one more. Mm-hmm. You faced the RICO. You obviously won that case. Your case. You see YSL, Young Thug, and
unfortunately
the RICO case that he's facing right now.
Unfortunately.
It's a lot of guys taking plea deals. What I heard you mention just kind of your background, how you were brought up.
All right,
tell me your position on that.
All right, now first of all, everything that's kind of happened, I knew it was going to happen. The only way the RICO was designed to kind of chop the head off the body, because when the mafia was going, the thought was if you chop off the head, then the rest of these guys that are doing all the murders and everything, they're not going to have no money. They're not going to have no organization. They're not going to have nobody guiding them what to do. Now, maybe some of that's right? So they come up with a way to where they can get 30 guys on small charges. They'll wait 2 years and pull you over for traffic violation, a weed violation. You have all these little small charges. Once they got enough that everybody that they want to get has a small charge, they can grab them in and bring them on those charges, small charges. But someone's going to have murder. Some will have conspiracy to commit murder. Some will have, all kind of, it'll be different charges. Then no bail. So the guy that got caught with weed, no bail, and the guy that got conspiracy to murder, no bail. Nobody has bail. So that'll play on their mental to try to break them. Then they'll go ahead and hit them with all these crazy numbers and start making them wanting to basically make deals with them. The problem with making deals with them is that they only want the highest person, really. They want them to do life. That's the whole idea. Now, of course, there's going to be a couple of shooters that did bodies and everything that they want, but they want to make sure that they get the man with the money, the man that's organizing. In their mind, the shot caller. So they got to cut that off. So the way they do it is, and I see the way that the chess game, which to me is checkers, because I could see it from a mile away. You know, when the first thing they had established that YSL wasn't a gang, because the defense is going to say that we're a music label. So the first thing they say was, well, their biggest artist, we got to get him to say it's a gang. Now we know he didn't murder nobody. We know he didn't. So we're going to let him out. But are they a gang? Yes. So what that does now, the number one artist says they're a gang. Now they can't really use that I'm a label anymore. So then they go to his family and the guys that so-called started it with him, you know, they have to establish the main thing is that the ones that aren't under any type of violent charges, for them to establish that it's a gang and not a record, because they've made millions of dollars as a record label. They are a record label. They are rappers. They are artists. They are. But for the charges, the only way a RICO works is if they're established they're a gang. That they have to establish that first, or else a RICO can't work. It'll just be everybody getting individual time with individual charges. Some will go get, you know, do have to do time for the shit they did, and then some will go small time, but you know what I'm saying? Like, but usually the guy who they want will be protected. Motorcycle gangs, when they go in, nobody says nothing. They'll get the RICO and nobody will say nothing. Everybody will get 10 years, 10, 10, 5, 3, 2. Everybody will go to jail. That's it. Because they're protecting the hierarchy of this situation. You got to protect the man with the money. But if you're not willing to take time and go to jail time, then they're going to make a deal with you. They're going to break you to get the person with the money. And it's unfortunate. What they're doing to thugs is bad. I heard they got 300 witnesses coming up. The trial's going to last all year. What's already happened, I feel so bad for him. I met Thug. We did a song together. I did a song with Tupac too. I forgot to say in the studio. But
You ever drop it?
yeah, it's on YouTube, man. We got sued. Had to give Afeni $150,000 because Suge cleared it, but she didn't. But no, I just brought them up because you know what I'm thinking about it. You know, just the influence of Thug and Tupac. You know, but I just I seen the whole thing play out, and it's not even done, and it's just going to be a sad situation. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, like with my Rico, they interviewed, they tried to do the same thing, but they couldn't connect the dots. You got to connect the dots. You know, their situation just looks bad because it was just too easy, too quick to make the moves they wanted to make. They've made all the moves, and it's just, man, it's like, man, like, you know, I still hope there's a way for him to come home. I hope so. I wish nobody on that. I was in Boston when Darryl Whiting, God, remember In Too Deep? Remember that movie?
Mm-hmm.
That was based off of Darryl Whiting, guy from Queens, coming up with his crew and set up shop in Orchard Park, which is Bobby Brown's project in Boston. That movie was based on that.
Okay.
So, you know, I've been around that all my life, my father, myself. So when that came down, it's hard. You can't beat a RICO, but you can beat the gang charges to where the top guy. And what you got to understand is, to get the top guy, they'll let a guy kill 20 people, murder 20 people, get off just to get the guy with all the money who's controlling the gang. The guy could, you know, with all the money controlling the gang, might not even have killed nobody. You know what I'm saying? I'm just talking in general, not YSL. But that's how they think. We'll let you go, even though you killed up at shit, but we got to get him, because if we get him, then everything breaks off. And that's the thought. Everybody just was to be quiet and just take whatever individual charge they have, then everybody has the chance to come out. Usually 10 years federal. A lot of them are federal RICOs. I haven't seen too many state RICOs, but usually 10. You know what I'm saying? Now, the ones that are committed, you know, for the bodies and everything, well, you know, whatever, you know what I'm saying? But everybody has to take what they take. If you're out here rapping and doing these things, then man, see it all the way through. See it through. Be legendary. And so the streets are different from when I grew up. The code's different. There's no code. There's no loyalty. So what I mean, it's hard for me to speak the way how things was back then, because now it's like, what the fuck? A motherfucker will rat on a ham sandwich. The ham sandwich did it. Like, damn, the ham sandwich? The fuck? Can't even talk. Ham sandwich can't even talk. I seen the ham sandwich do it. It's accepted now after the 6ix9ine situation. That's it. These kids out here, and I watch them on the internet, and they'd be like, hey, I would snitch too. If I was, I would. No. If you was down with it, then why would you want to snitch and get somebody else locked up for it? You're the lowest scumbag on the earth, still to this day. I was 11 years old. I'm 57. And my father really, I understood that. And I put that to my kids, even though they don't have to live this life of crime and everything. Now, people say, well, what if you seen an old woman gets killed? There are different things that mean different. But if I'm in crime, if I'm a part of doing crime, then I can't help the police solve crimes. It's more hypocritical than that. And believe me, growing up in Boston, there's a lot of guys that done snitch and still running around and everything. Back in the day, wasn't nobody snitching. Snitches would get killed.
Snitching on the op, is that considered snitching?
Snitching on an op? Yes. I mean, if snitching on an op is you're at your enemy and you snitching, yeah, you fucking right. You're a rat. If you beefing with him, if you whatever it is, goddamn, keep the police out of it. Now, if you a civilian and you going to work and everything, then I can't say that. But if you out here, you know what I'm saying, and involving yourself in criminal activities, it's not fair if you're letting the police get somebody else involved with criminal. It's just not fair. I'm gonna try to break it down to words that people can understand. It's not fair. But them days are out. They're out of it. Them are different days.
It's a lot of rappers now that's getting called out for snitching and everything else. Do you feel like
there's a lot of paperwork? Out there. I'm 57. I ain't never been on paperwork. Ain't that a motherfucker? I can go to my grave with that. I'm proud of that. And I've been through a lot of shit.
What do you think about these rappers? Like, I mean, you've been a part of the culture for a significant amount of time, and specifically rap. Like, you've been around some of the biggest hip-hop stars ever.
Right.
The snitch shit.
Right.
Have you ever seen it back in the 90s that, the bigger...
It existed back then. It's just that it wasn't, because of the internet, it wasn't as out there. But it was out there. See, everything is times 100 now because of the internet. And that's why I think the internet isn't good for our culture. Because, we don't know how to just take things and make money and make good. We have to bring all the negative shit with it. And that's what just makes it even more. But there's always been that. You know what I'm saying? Nigga done went, didn't take his time. It wasn't as much, but that's always been around. It's just that, growing up, you just dealt what's in front of you, what's in your hood, what's at your school, what's at your job, now you got to deal with everybody and everybody's eyes and everybody. God didn't make our plan. God didn't make life for that. We wasn't supposed to be able to be exposed to everything, millions. It wasn't supposed to be like that. It was supposed to be in front of each other so we can deal with it in an organized, less chaotic fashion. It's hard to deal with shit when everybody's saying something and there's just too much going on. It's too much. But you said it better. You got to adapt. You said it earlier, and I live like that. I've always been able to bounce back like that. I adjust, adapt, and keep it moving. I'm saying
that's a wrap, bro.
That's a wrap. Good shit, T.
Yeah.
Tony the Closer.
Real quick.
Hey, why they call you Tony the Closer?
Because I close shit.
Let's go. No, because I was wondering if you played baseball.
Nah, I close shit. Deals.
Oh, good. Let's go. I like that.
Just let them know you want to get your ass up show.
Hey, yo, this your boy Benzino, and I did it. I finally motherfucking got on the Get Your Ass Up show. Shout out to my bro Tony the Closer. Let's close some deals, baby.